Welcome in, Pokemon Unite trainers. Good evening and welcome to Underdunk number 70. You feta believe it. We are back and cheddar than ever. It is Mott's CTV tonight for this special events. If you're new here, I am Steel Agent Kyle, and with me, as always, is the GOAT herself, Husky. Welcome in, Husky.
What's up? Yeah, you did tell me that there would be cheese puns. I didn't realize. I didn't know what I expected. To be honest, I'm a little thrown off. So, good to be here.
Good to be here. Good to see you as well. And Queso, we have a different format tonight. Monkey in the room. Elephant in the room? I'm not sure exactly. But if you couldn't tell by all the cheese puns, we are running a Swiss tournament tonight. 4 rounds to be exactly. Winners of each round will play another winner and vice versa. Losers of that round will play losers of another round. So teams are going to be mostly going to be competing against others of that same record or similar record throughout the night. So that's going to be a little bit how our Swiss will be working. We have 4 rounds of that, which will be really cool. We do have some things in the works for some later tournaments, and we'll get to that at some point, and we'll try to kind of iron out the details. But obviously, we'd love some player feedback as we kind of do this little change to our format. But the main reason we want to run this type of tournament just to make sure that teams have plenty of practice options. Swiss allows a little bit more, allows teams to get a little bit more sets in, a little fewer more depending on the team, which I think is important due to the lack of UCS global events for this year's format. Husky, we have a tournament today.
Hey.
We have 4 rounds. Let's talk about we have some stats that we want to go through of Underdunk 69, which is just about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Two years ago.
Back Underdunk 69. Let's take a look at some of these stats. Most played. Just looking at this first glance, because I hadn't seen it yet, I don't think much has changed, Kyle.
I don't think so either. Taking a look at some of the top Pokemon, top bands. Right now, we are going to look at the overall most played for Underdunk number 69. Rating from most played to the least played. And Miraidon, kind of the top of that. 49% play rate with kind of an abysmal win rate, though. Only 40.74% on the wins. Blastoise, not super surprising. Around 47%. Well, it's kind of a coin flip with that Pokemon along with Umbreon, both sitting at that 50%.
Yeah, I think that, this kind of looks like what the meta looks like, right? And when you're seeing the win rate for some of these Pokemon being very, coin flippy or potentially very low, keep in mind that only one team is going to play that Pokemon at any given time. So if it's on the team, if it's on the team that wins, then the team that lost might try to pick it up next game. It really just kind of depends. We're going to see the most bans here in a second, but I feel like a lot of this is still true. I would say maybe Psyduck has moved up there. A lot of teams are playing Psyduck, and maybe Miraidon has moved down a little bit in terms of how often it's played. But a lot of these Pokemon, at least from what we saw last weekend in UCS and in some of the other grassroots tournaments, a lot of these Pokemon are still what we're seeing pretty consistently.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kind of usual suspects. I think we got the sound figured out there. I was hearing like 2 of you.
VMix.
Yeah, you can unmute VMix now. I was like, I think Husky's thrown off. I know I'm being thrown off a little bit by the.
I just muted
all
it.
Good
Yeah.
Now. But yeah, let's talk about like some of these picks. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of kind of usual suspects. I think the biggest shock to me, I think like some of the win rates on some of these. These were the most picked. Not super surprised. I think maybe the one that maybe shocked me the most is this Mimikyu. 29% is pretty significant. Didn't really receive like a ton of bans, but over this past weekend at UCS, I think that Pokemon got picked up in very niche situations, but it seems like it's always performing pretty well. It does well into like these bulkier compositions because of that Shadow Claw. But let's maybe transition. We talked about the most played. Take a look at our most banned Pokemon, including a big black box in the bottom half. That is a no ban, surprisingly.
Wow, no ban being banned more than Mega Lucario and Miraidon. So we're seeing a lot of the similar Pokemon being banned. I believe Meowth is not playable tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, no
So
Meowth and
yeah,
Surfetch, I think.
and no
both banned.
Surfetched. Yeah, so we've gotten rid of that problem, but it does make sense as to why this thing was banned all the time. Megachar Y, I imagine we will still see that heavily banned, and then most of these were also in our most picked list, so it seemed kind of like if they weren't being banned, they were definitely being picked.
Yeah, I think the ones that I'm like really not enjoying playing on ladder, like I've been playing a decent amount of ladder over the last maybe like week or so, just trying to get climbing up in the season. Darkrai, that Pokemon getting buffed seemingly because of the what do they call them? The chest.
The gotchas.
The gotcha. We'll just call them a gotcha. We'll call a spade a spade. That Pokemon getting a buff, 50% win rate, 61% ban rate. I think that's more than enough to say this Pokemon's pretty powerful, and the buff that it received because of that most recent patch has made it just really tough to play into, and a good Darkrai is really hard to deal with.
Yeah, and Darkrai is also good because it's a little bit more versatile. You know, we've kind of seen it being played as a support style attacker, even in some situations. It's got 2 viable move sets. And speedsters in general, I guess, you know, besides Meowth because it's a little bit busted, speedsters in general are kind of only really used at the moment if there's a player on the team that really values the speedster role. Otherwise, we've kind of seen speedsters fall a little bit more to the wayside. Sometimes, you know, they show up and they do great, but Darkrai is one of those that consistently skates through, and a lot of that is because I feel like it's got so much CC, the CC heavy meta. You see a lot of these defenders and supporters that do a ton of CC that are on the map, so Darkrai just kind of makes sense. What didn't make sense was it getting buffed, though. But, you know, that means we'll probably see it a bit tonight. Maybe we'll see it on the chopping block once again.
Yeah, I would be shocked if we saw it on the chopping block a lot. But we talked about the most picked, the most bans. Let's take a look at our Pokemon to watch this evening. Or we'll take a look at our faces. That works too.
Hey.
Hello. Look at our all of our new stuff.
Just 2
I'm loving
guys.
it. Just
one
2
cat
guys.
boy and another guy. Yeah, let's.
Let's talk about
mine.
your Pokemon to watch. Yes.
So this was mine. So I picked to watch for Vaporeon. I've been playing a lot of Vaporeon. I'm trying to get my ribbon on it because right now it's still broken. I like the Aqua Ring Muddy Water, but I've seen a lot of teams playing Flip Turn because it's so valuable to get that extra stun. It does a little bit of damage. I've also seen a lot of players double stacking it. But there's also, I mean, you can run any tank item, any special attack item, and this thing is pretty busted. It does not go down, and it doesn't go down. So that's kind of why this thing has been really, that's why this thing has been picked or banned so often.
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. It can play as that defender, like you said. It also can play as kind of like that support, so we see a lot of different trainers that want to utilize it. Let's take a look at my Pokemon to watch as well. I think this is probably coming to no shock to a lot of people, but Psyduck has re-entered the fray. We saw even before it got buffed, it was becoming a menace, and then now with the buffs in our Underdunk tournament just a little bit over 2 weeks ago, actually exactly 2 weeks ago, it had like a 70, I forgot what that exact number was, but it was like a 72% win rate. It's an absolute insane win rate, pretty high pick rate as well. The moveset that I kind of want to highlight is that Bubble Beam Disable, but I think right now with how varying some of the comps are, you can see it get played. I think all 4 moves are in play. So the typical held item set that I tend to see, Buddy Barrier, Resonant Guard, and then that 3rd item tends to be a bit more flexible. Seen things like Cursed Incense. I personally love a little bit of Leftovers. I think there are a few other options that you could throw on there and make it pretty good. But what we're typically seeing, Surf, when you have a heavy enemy fight, like Brawly style comms, where you want to try to push the enemies away. Beam, the Bubble Beam, really good when you have some ranged damage dealers of your own, maybe some A-pressers, thinking like that Mewtwo Y is a pretty good target as well. Disable works really well for those mobile targets, so if there are speedsters that you're trying to slow down, or just in general, just any like cooldowns that you want to reduce. I think Disable's really good, and then Psychic for those immobile Pokemon makes it a lot easier to maybe push and pull them away. Some notable traders on this: AJ Dragon from Lunex Gaming, Tired Alex. We saw them take it for Exodia in more of the tank slot, which I thought was very interesting. Maybe not super interesting, but not something you typically see. So typically see something a little bit more bulky there. And then Sushi also playing on Exodia this evening, and Sushi loves playing a lot of those more disruptor style support. So if you have a trader that plays a lot of disruptors, Psyduck's the perfect Pokemon.
Yeah, Psyduck is just ridiculous. You see it pretty much in every game now. It's a Pokemon that doesn't focus on doing damage at all. It's really just setting up other Pokemon. So you commonly see it paired with a lot of heavy damage of your within your front line. A couple all-rounders that are consistently doing damage. I've also seen the Bubble Beam moveset played when teams are prioritizing like an auto attacker or something, either in the central area or like in the bottom path. I guess we've seen Cinderace and Greninja a couple times, and the Bubble Beam is really good for that. But yeah, it's interesting. We both kind of highlighted like a supporter defender like Pokemon, just because of like if you don't have like a defender and support core that's like really good. I mean, they're all kind of super broken, but that is really the driving force of this meta. You can pair pretty much any damage dealers and as long as you've got some good defender and support, then you're doing pretty well.
You talked about Greninja. Speaking of Greninja, we are going to take a look at Dats Daniel T1 subs. I don't know if Dats Danny is on there, at least currently. Maybe he is. I think actually your favorite Mexican
it's
is
T1
him,
subs.
if I'm not mistaken. Experimental.
Oh, is it?
On the purple
It's hard
side.
to tell with people's names.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like I've seen him on that account. I could be completely wrong.
Well, this is our first game. We're also going to be in Kyogre, in the Kyogre map. You can kind of see it. It doesn't clearly label it, but this is indeed the Kyogre map. Seeing a lot of similar bands to what we kind of saw in that band list from a couple of weeks ago. Feel like no surprises here just yet.
Okay. Yeah, no big surprises. I mean, Mimikyu definitely getting banned out. I think we talked about it getting picked up pretty frequently, and I think with a little bit more time to see how this patch is settling, that makes perfect sense. Clefable first pick, I think always worries me because it's a very good support, but having 5 picks to try to be able to counter this thing and counter something that's very like huddle oriented, it can be really, really tough.
Yeah, and what's interesting about taking a Clefable early is that the opposite sides, I'm just going to call them the T1 subs, I guess. Like, they don't have to, because the long name, I'll call them T1 subs. They don't have to worry about picking a supporter or defender really just yet, because they already see what the supporter is for the other sides. They know that they're likely not going to take another one. But these are very interesting compositions from what I'm seeing. Garchomp coming out here did recently get some buffs. We haven't really seen it make its way back into the meta. Is now the time for this Pokemon.
Mochi Pounder, that's going to be Dats Danny, surely, right? Unless they switch it. I'm pretty sure that is Dats Danny going to be on that. I did get actually a little information from our production staff, and Dats Danny is Mochi Pounder. What a name. But wow, we are going to see that Greninja. I mean, I'm not super surprised. Obviously, a notable Pokemon for a notable choice.
Yeah, and looking at the other side here for experimental, they do have this Talonflame being locked in. That definitely does good into this kind of double attacker composition. The problem is going to be, can Talonflame outlast when it's not in its Brave Bird or its Fly? The water shurikens or the surfs coming down from this Greninja. There's also a lot of damage coming out of the Mew. If you can hit a boosted attack on top of that Talonflame, an Electro Ball, a Solar Beam, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. So this Talonflame is going to have a little bit of a task to get online as early as possible.
It's a tough one too, because if Talonflame gets behind, it just ends up not being able to participate in those fights and has to kind of do like all those, the backcapping, the off-laning, and that's not always what you want your speedster to be doing. A lot of times you do want it to be providing those valuable KOs for your team, because EXP is the name of the game, and the name of the game is Pokemon Unite. Let's get into game number 1, experimental on your purple side. That's Daniel, T1 subs, aka T1 subs, gonna be on your orange.
I'm interested to see how these compositions work out because we have 2 top path Pokemon that aren't necessarily as used recently. It's a very interesting way of T1 subs pathing here. Instead, they're sending this Gibble into the central area of the opposite side to go for an invasion.
Good secures there for Mew. Electro Ball is going to take that one. Meanwhile, Gibble takes away that red buff right away from Experimental, looking for this Baltoy as well. Able to get it, damaging that Fletchling pretty low, and Faith gets everything that they wanted from this invade.
Yeah, now Mewtwo X has to come in to try to help. The Slowbro has to come in to try to help. This poor Gibble. They're just going to have to try to back here, see if they can make it before the Talonflame finds up. They will be able to. Very good start here for the T1 subs. Getting a red buff, securing one of those ball toys, and making it out. Definitely a good start.
Lucario was looking for that 14, and Danny was looking for that 24. Unable to get either. Now you have 4 members for this topside push. 3 members of Experimental trying to respond, but they don't get anything. Gonna look to damage this Lucario. Fletchling down, Mewtwo down, Clef down, and that is a team wipe in this top path.
Yeah, the smoke screen on that Greninja as well. And that already almost level 7. They're just going to head right into the enemy central area. Meanwhile, this Miraidon trying to get their level 5. But right now, the T1 subs are all over this map. They are so far ahead, even though we're less than 2 minutes in. Talonflame down once again.
Yeah, that's not a good look. And you have a level 7 Greninja now, and this thing is starting to scale. 4 members of Experimental responding to this bottom path, knowing that they kind of have to vacate this top because they pretty much have lost that already. 8 minutes in, Regidrago hitting the map. Lucario just working that attack weight, making sure to get really strong for this late game. It's Scald Slowbro.
Yeah, Scald, bro. Definitely interesting. I feel like I would go Surf here, but you know, the Scald definitely still slows a bit. Cressel is able to get that Regidrago secure, getting kind of low, but setting up the Garchomp perfectly in that Rock Tomb. What a play there.
Good dragon combo there for this Gabite. Now 30 points, making another 30 from Mew. So 60 into this bottom path. They don't want to break this just yet. Going to work those attack weights. And now going to prioritize these 720 birds. Good pull from this Mewtwo. X's are even better, though. And Dad's Daniel gets all of that Altaria family.
I don't think that Experimental can really prioritize getting into any fights. I think they need to send somebody into their central area immediately. Talonflame's got to get back there. Somebody's got to get back there because they are way too far behind. They lose another fight here in the bottom path. Goal zone is going to be broken 179-2, and we've just passed the 7-minute threshold.
This Mew's got to be careful, otherwise they're going to get taken out by that Regieleki, and they were plenty careful. Regieleki going to make their way towards that T2. Meanwhile, Lucario in this top path going to start working on this Registeel by themselves. That's going to open the door for a potential bottom side push. Going to get snuffed out by this Miraidon. Talonflame also very wise. Mew's going to hit that Mewtwo auto into Clef. Nice little gravity there. Little telekinesis on the Garchomp. Here comes Faith. Going to try to scoop. Looking to score. Double KO for Danny. Miraidon next on the chopping block. And just like that, the T1 subs have breaking that T2 goal.
Yeah, this game might already be over for Experimental, unfortunately. I guess their composition a little bit too experimental to actually make it work. The Talonflame, the only one who has a Unite move, and they're still trying to push into this Lucario. They really just need to back up, try to get experience where they can, potentially bait into some picks, but the T1 subs are not going to let that happen. Another fantastic Rock Tomb to set up a couple KOs.
There's that Mega Lucario going in. There's another scoop from Faith. Gonna shred through the Slowbro. 2 members down already. Another scoop, this time into the Clefairy, but in a perfect gravity. And they're gonna get shut down right there. So that's a level 11 Garchomp that goes down.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that the Clefable is the one to get that KO, because now they're level 9 and the rest of their carries don't even have a Unite move yet, but I feel like it's just good for Experimental to get any KOs at this point. Lucario still scoring in the top path, and I guess with a Lucario, when you're this far ahead, you don't really need to play with the team. You can just kind of continue to score.
Another Electro Ball from the Mew, and good pull there onto the Crustle. But I'm not sure if that's a target you want to pull. Good X-Scissor there. There's the Unite move from Danny. Talonflame immediately deleted from the Thea Sky Runes. Another Dragon combo from this Garchomp into the backline with that Livid Outrage. They're going to take out that Miraidon. Keep pressing their A button. Another Scoop's going to take another Pokemon, and Mewtwo finally going to get expired. Danny getting credit for a double KO.
You know, I kind of miss seeing the Garchomp plays consistently. There was a while where it was a super meta pick. We were seeing it all the time and then kind of fell off, got some buffs recently. Maybe this is where we start to see it come back. The way the Rock Tomb has been setting this Pokemon up, and look at so far ahead. It might get caught here, though. Finally goes down. The Slowbro now able to get a Unite move online after taking down that nearly level 13 Pokemon.
Yeah, I also kind of see the vision with Scald. Obviously, it hasn't quite worked out the way that they would want to. But for, like, physical attack-based Pokemon, so it is gonna reduce a lot of that damage. Might have been the difference maker to help take down that Garchomp. But either way, they're gonna have to deal with this T3 push of this Regieleki. And that's Daniel. They're getting set up for this center push, or sorry, all that center experience. They also have this top Regi that they can take.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, Experimental doesn't have to worry right now about their other Tier 2 goal zone being pushed, because instead the rest of the squad has been up there taking Regirock, which will be secured by that Mew. But I feel like the T1 subs, they've been doing a great job of pushing their advantage, and they get another KO here on this Miraidon. Seems like a little bit of a weird eject button for them, and so they might look for a push here. It does look like Lucario will go ahead and back off, but the rest of the squad in the enemy central area once again.
Water Burst Shuriken from Danny. They're putting on the aggression here. There's a little Brave Bird from Talonflame, forces the Garchomp Unite move out. Miraidon still trying to find a little bit of something. You have the Dragon combo, but Garchomp just going to try to run away wisely. You don't want to go down as that level 13 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Garchomp is playing a little bit aggressive, probably a little excited as well. They do get so much sustain now that they're in level 13. It's going to be hard to take this Pokemon down, but if you can CC it, you can Scald it, reduce some of that damage, they might be able to. But look at it, the HP, the healing, the rest of the squad shows up, and another couple Pokemon taken out for Experimental.
You're going to get a lot of points in that T3 goal zone, or T2 goal zone, opening up that T3 once again. 460, 31. Clefable just going to try to work those special attack specs, try to get additional healing towards this endgame, but 20 seconds until our first Kyogre.
Garchomp is going to look for that Clefable again. They do catch them in another Dragon combo. We'll be able to take them out. They will be back for this Kyogre that will spawn here in 10 seconds. And it looks like the T1 subs easily going to be able to take this Regieleki. It's really setting them up for a lot of options in this endgame. Unfortunately, Kyle, I really feel like Experimental is going to need some kind of miracle if they want to pull this one out.
Looks like they're looking to push and escort this Regieleki into the home goal zone, but instead they are going to full rip this Kyogre. Mega Lucario doing all that heavy lifting. Talonflame still in the Pokemon Center. Slowbro unable to hit their Unite move. Wasn't even able to walk in, and that's going to be an easy pickings for Dad's Daniel and squad. 490-51, more points inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was there. I feel like your only win condition there, if you're Experimental, is to show up to Kyogre, get it, and then hope that you can win some kind of fight afterwards. And they just couldn't show up. The Regieleki was walking towards their base, and at that point, That's Daniel T1 subs had so many options. They don't have to go to Kyogre. They can just wait until the Regieleki walks into the base, and they just set themselves up to win that game. It really would have taken a miracle, and the miracle is not going to happen this time, but maybe next game.
Maybe next game. Now, 962. Might get a full 1,000 points here. I believe they do have enough points if they want to score. And there's another Mega Lucario Unite move. Just damage farming at this point. Mewsted auto. There's 4 members down. Mewtwo just going to let all of that scoring happen. Nearly 1,100 points in this one.
It is funny seeing, like, the 1,000, and you can see that it's, like, not fitting where, like, the asset is for the score to go. It's always funny when that happens. It's not often that we see a over 1,000-point game. Greninja finally goes down. This is your chance, Experimental. Run! Greninja's down. You got him. You have to go.
Graphic design is their passion. That's why you know, I think, well, it's like in the different versions of this game, obviously, this game is global, or nearly global. You know, like a lot of other languages don't use like the commas the way we do. So maybe if they use no comma, the 1,000 fits properly. But I don't know. Either way, it doesn't look great here. But what did look great is the T1 subs.
Yeah, they looked great this game. I think experimental. It's interesting to see a Garchomp being picked purposely into a Gravity Clefable, but clearly the T1 subs knew exactly what they were doing. A lot of KOs for that squad. Experimental just couldn't get it together. It seems like they might have a smaller Pokemon pool, especially I feel like I end up coming up with that opinion when I see first picks like Clefable. It just kind of makes me assume that there's somebody who needs Clefable because they don't play any other supports. So it's possible that they're a newer team or something like that. We'll get the stats up for you shortly. It seemed like there was a BlueStacks crash.
Yeah, yeah, there might have been a BlueStacks crash.
I think we kind of know what we were gonna see. I think on that stat screen at that point.
Well, tune in to the Underdunk Twitter because we'll probably have some high scores from that game going into it. But instead, let's take a look at some of the replays here in Game 1. There are plenty of T1 highlights.
Yeah, the mean Gibble invade right into the 4-man push top. Crustle securing that Regidrago, and then a huge play with the Rock Tomb trapping that Slowbro. And then I think this was the Quadra KO for the Gabite. Not often that you see Gabite taking it to him.
Yeah, usually that's going to earn you an evolution, especially at that stage of the game. This is a fantastic push here. There's some low HP bars for the T1 subs, but they're able to get it done with no healer, by the way. Yeah, no healer. It was the Clefable on the other side that was providing essentially all the healing. It was all self-sustained for T1.
Yeah, I mean, the Garchomp basically heals itself after a certain point in the match, especially when it gets to that level 13 breakpoint. Those boosted attacks just do so much healing. This is a great catch here for Experimental, but I feel like they caught Garchomp 2 times, but both times it went to, like, the defender. So, unfortunately, not able to get the Kyogre there. T1 subs just ripped it apart. It was all T1 subs. I mean, from watching that game, it just seems like they're clearly the more experienced team. I feel like Experimental really has a lot to consider for how they might potentially pull out a game win here in Game 2.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Do you ban the Greninja? The Greninja was obviously very good. But
I don't think you can ban anything from this team and be in a better position than than them. I think you just kind of have to play as smart as possible, pick what you know you're good at, but be a little bit smart with your draft picks. Like, make sure you are looking at what the other team is picking. You could ban the Greninja, but that's Danny knows what he's doing. Like, he has other Pokemon that he's gonna play. So I think you have to watch out for an invasion potentially into that early game. If you can make sure that you're coming out of central area with a level 5 and be ready for an invade, I think, maybe you have a little bit of a better start to the game, and that could keep you from falling super behind early.
The Gibble invade was definitely rough too. It worked out quite well, right? I mean, they got the red buff, they got a Baltoy, they forced that Fletchling up to the top. I actually did they get a KO? I can't remember if they got a KO that early, but either way, they got all of the experience that they wanted. They were able to escape without getting KO'd themselves, and that really enabled that first push. And really, from that moment on, it was pretty much it was all Danny. We do have some information for our next game, Map Kyogre, and first pick is going to be Experimental again.
Yeah, all right. So Experimental is going to have the first pick, which means they also get this first ban here. A lot of options for really good things that you want to make sure you don't see. I guess for them, you just got to think about what do you want to see the least when you're considering going up against this team that really made it difficult for you in that game number 1. It is going to be that Blastoise. Doesn't surprise me. This Pokemon is extremely annoying and unfortunately very versatile.
Very, very, quite indeed. Let's take a look at what we have set up already. That Umbreon, Blastoise, Charizard Y, Mega Gyarados. So yeah, all the usual suspects so far. I imagine we'll probably not deviate too far from what we saw in game number 1. Mimikyu next on that chopping block, and they're also lining up. I saw that Blaziken. I didn't think that was going to happen. They do end up on that Vaporeon.
Yeah, not surprising bans. I believe these were the exact same that we saw. Experimental lining up that first pick, Clefable. Once again, they liked it the first time. They're going to go with it. I think you got to just consider what actually plays well with a Clefable. Not sure if Talonflame or stuff like that is the right call. You kind of got to have a really strong frontline all-rounder squad that you're lining up if you really want Clefable to work. And look at this over here, picking up the Miraidon, stealing it away actually from Experimental. And we also have your favorite, Kyle, the Mr. Mime, with 3 pairs of glasses on it.
Oh, they took one of the glasses off,
no,
man.
Cowards. Keep the triple glasses Mime.
I played a little bit of Mr. Mime last night, and I had a lot of fun with it. I think it sets up a lot of very cool plays. Still, a lot of crowd control, and having that extra item slot not dedicated to experience share is super nice on it. Personally, I enjoyed running the choice specs for those last hitting ability, but here's something that we're not seeing a ton of right now is the Delmise.
Yeah, Delmise, that's a fun one. It sets up a lot of really interesting plays, and I really like it into things like Scyther, which is what I imagine this will be here for Sleepy, because you can just kind of set its momentum, like you can just kind of stall its momentum for a second and make sure that doesn't get its full combinations out, which is really fun. Experimental's team comp, I like a little bit better this time. I like taking the Mew away here, but I really would hope, I would like to see this Venusaur kind of pivot into a Petal Dance Venusaur, but it does look like it's lined up for a double beam composition.
Double beams. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, I really do think that Petal Dance would do really well here. I think the only thing that you'd probably have a bit of trouble with would be probably that Miraidon, just because it would outrange you. You'd kind of have to try to get into that backline. But I guess you could have Mew to kind of take care of that. But we are getting that Greninja last pick once again. Taking a look to see what Pokemon for Dad's Daniel are holding on any curse items. So far, it is just the Miraidon, so I think it's honestly fine with how much damage Miraidon does from a long range to kind of slow that clef down.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did so well against the Clefable in the previous match that they're probably not super worried about the Curse Incense, especially because, unfortunately, I really don't think that Experimental is setting their Clefable up to be super effective regardless, because it looks like from the items we are seeing a Solar Beam Venusaur, which is the squishier version of the Venusaur. We're probably also going to see a Scyther, which is, the speedster kind of squishier build that's very mobile, and then the Mew as well, which is a squishy backliner. So I don't really think they're too worried, because what's the Clefable realistically going to be healing, especially when you have some burst on the T1 subs, you've got this Greninja to do some shred.
Game number 2 here. That's Daniel on your orange side. Experimental, they are going to take this Clefable up to the top path along with the Mew, and we have a split central area.
Yeah, I think this is pretty smart, assuming that there's going to be another invasion. It looks like the Delmise making their way across the map again. So I do like this pivot from Experimental to watch for that invade. Try to stall it out a little bit more. Try to make sure you're getting this Scyther to level 5. Faith, he's going to back up just a little bit, but they're probably not going to go very far.
Not too far. They're unable to steal any buffs currently. You have 3 members kind of hounding this Delmise. It's a focus ban, so they did get that out, but you've kind of vacated the top path, allowing this Mr. Mime to do whatever they want.
I mean, you stalled for time here, and you're sending everybody down into the bottom path instead. I really like this play from Experimental. Maybe you lose top path, you have 3, now 4 heading up there, but you are getting some points in. That's already better than we saw in game number 1. You're getting a little bit of levels, but you are going to have to make sure you're going back to that central area and pivoting.
Yeah, I mean, they lost top path with pretty much force in game number 1, so might as well do it without getting KO'd up there this time and get something a little bit in return. But you do, like you said, kind of allow T1 to get stacked up, take what they want, and this is kind of not what you wanted, and they were a little bit slow to get back to their own central area.
So interestingly enough, we do see that this is a Scizor, not a Scyther. So this is going to be more brawl focused. If they can get this thing online, especially towards that level 9 as soon as possible, then the Clefable really could be highly valuable in a lot of these fights. We already see here Mr. Mime gets taken down. Potentially it seemed like maybe Mr. Mime wasn't moving. No, they just were hanging out.
Yep.
they didn't crash, at least that's what it seems like. I thought for a second maybe they crashed. It didn't seem like they were doing anything, but no, they're fine. They were just chilling.
They were probably getting a snack or something, surely. I mean,
they had to call their girlfriend. She's been bothering them all day, just nagging all day, so we had to answer.
Yeah. Miss Marina able to eject over the wall, otherwise I think they might have been able to get taken out by at least one of the Pokemon, likely the Scizor. And now Experimental gonna pivot towards this Regidrago, getting damaged pretty early, looking for a secure. Miraidon, of all things, gets it. Gets an enhanced Charge Beam, and Desdani cleans up the pieces. That's a double KO with Delmise getting a third.
Miraidon doing a little spin move, heading down to the bottom path with their Charge Beam, just to celebrate that fantastic secure on that Regidrago, nearly level 7 here, trying to push in onto this tiny little Ivysaur, not even a Venusaur yet, and now we're starting to see the T1 subs that we saw in game number 1 really start to come online.
If these attack weights weren't full at the start of that fight, they certainly are now. A lot of stacks in. I believe Mamoswine and Delmise both were running it. I'm not 1,000% sure, but they definitely are getting close. So they're actually going to prioritize trying to overcap here. 30 points, along with 40. Doing a little bit of math, that's a 37-point overdunk. That's also going to walk towards that T2. In the top side, Mew secures the Regirock.
Yeah, nice job for Mew securing that up there. They might try to push into this Mr. Mime. They did use the Unite move already, so how long can you really last against 4? But here comes that Danny, the Greninja showing up with a big Water Burst Shuriken.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one, but Scissor's going to try to fight them in this fight and immediately deleted Dad's Daniel T1 subs. It's the Miraidon putting in a lot of work there. Now they're going to move towards this T1, looking to break it 9 along with, I don't see what the second score was, 9 and a 5. That might not have been the best overdunk. I think it was almost even.
And this Delmise down in the bottom path, level 10. So once again, this Pokemon can just kind of play by themselves. They don't have to worry too much about what's going on. They're so far ahead right now. Do see the Solar Beam here come out from the Venusaur, but they immediately have to back up because that hook is not doing them any favors.
Okay, we got 2 KOs this time. Now we have the Miraidon Unite move, gonna rain down, connect on a couple members. Scissor getting obliterated. Another Charge Beam enhanced version is gonna help take out that Venusaur. It's a double KO, and it's this Delmise really frontlining, picking up a lot of pieces. One more swing of the anchor. That's another KO. They're gonna move towards this T2, 17, 25, and a 40 all in.
Yeah, Solar Beam does connect here from that Venusaur, but not quite able to pick up any KOs. Experimental has been doing a decent job of grabbing some KOs, but it's just not, I mean, look at this, level 12 on the Greninja. Will they be able to take them out? That's a huge pick for the Venusaur, even though Greninja got a couple of KOs in the enemy central area. I think for Experimental being so far behind, getting anything is good.
Trying to find their footing in game number 2. It hasn't looked so easy so far. Definitely has looked a little bit better than in game 1. They've definitely put in together a few different pushes. They've scored more points. Another hook there from the Delmise into the Whirlpool, into the Ice Fang. Holy moly, that's a lot of crowd control. Another bit of damage from this Miraidon. But unfortunately, they're met with the Scissor. Slow Beam is going to connect, but it's not going to find a KO. Experimental still holding strong here, but they're going to lose their Scissor. They're going to lose their source of healing. And this push is going to continue on. Auto gets blocked by the Delmise. Mr. Mime on 1 HP. And the Mamoswine finally getting taken out by the Mew.
Couple good KOs there for Experimental. It wasn't the worst fight that we've seen for them. I think there's a lot of CC with that Mamoswine, especially with that Scissor. They are lasting a good amount of time here. They did pick up the Miraidon KO. It was definitely valuable for them. But the CC from the Mamoswine, the anchor shot coming out, just hasn't been the best for a Pokemon like Scissor. And here comes another Unite move from Dad's Danny. It looks like they want to push this tier 2 goal zone.
Ooh, they're not even going to want it. They're going to get it, too. immediately broken, 389 to 72, with a basement objective still available. And it does look like Daddy's squad really just wants to stall this out. That's a Regieleki that could potentially walk into the home goal zone. So they're just kind of controlling the map right now.
Yeah, they want to set themselves up for, that trap play once again, where there's not really much Experimental can do in the end game. If you got Regieleki walking, even if they do get Kyogre, it doesn't matter too much, but Mr. Mime jumps in on 3 members of Experimental. Some huge burst coming out for them. Mamoswine also popping a little bit of a late Unite move. They don't want to lose some of these high-value members of the squad. Scissor goes down, unfortunately, once again, and the T1 subs on low HP are just going to elect to back up.
Might as well. I mean, you don't want to get KO'd at this stage of the match. You do have that basement Regieleki that they can pivot towards, and that is exactly what Danny, along with this Mamoswine, are going to do. This is a potential win condition for this team.
Yeah, I think that the team itself is kind of the win condition for this team, but other than that, it definitely doesn't hurt to have a Regieleki walking toward that base goal zone. Experimental really needs to line up and I feel like they should just go for a rip, try to catch them off guard, but I don't know what guard you're catching them off of, honestly. They do find Delmice! That's a big pick for them! Scissor also throws the Unite move Slowbro with a slow beam on top of the Mamoswine. Will it be enough, Kyle?
I don't think so, but that's a double KO. That's pretty big. If they could get this Greninja, that might be the trick to do it, but Danny's going to immediately turn it right back on Mew. Now the play is going to be onto this Kyogre. Clefable healing, zoning by this Slowbro. Venusaur looking for a beam. It's wide right, not even in the same area code, but Experimental still going for it. Missed the time. Gonna connect on a confusion. Venusaur down. It's showtime. Gotta look for a secure. Who has it? Miraidon looking for it. Miraidon gets it.
It's Miraidon with the secure. I thought for a second there Experimental had a great start to that fight. They picked up the Delmice. They got a couple of KOs there. They were looking for that rip, and it's just not enough. Very well played, though, in those last few moments by Experimental. They definitely had a plan, just unfortunately didn't work out. 513 now to 72. I don't think the T1 subs are going to want to stop throwing in points anytime soon.
Not at all. Another 100 points from Mr. Crime himself. Gonna battle a little bit on this home goal zone. One final stand for the Scissor, but it's gonna fall down. Experimental gonna be falling down. They're gonna go into round number 2 with that loss. Likely gonna be facing another team with a loss there, but that's what we play. We gotta have a little bit of practice here against a really good squad, and hopefully they'll be able to, maybe play against a team that's maybe a little bit more on even footing, because Danny's team looked really good here in round 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that's been playing together for a while, players that have a ton of reps on some of these Pokemon and a lot of experience with competitive play. For Experimental, they're going to have to go do some more experiments with some team compositions if they're going to want to come back in this. They do have a shot, though. It is the Swiss round, and if they want to get Gouda at the game, they'll have to go back and do it in the lower side.
Hey, you cheddar, believe it.
No, that's worse. That's so much
good.
worse.
That's
I hate myself for what I have done.
Yeah, me too. 953.72 going to be your final. Didn't eclipse that 1,000-point mark, so definitely marginal improvements here for Experimental in Game 2. Even got a lot more KOs they did in Game 1. I imagine it definitely felt that way at least.
Yeah.
But looking at the damage, 101k from Danny, and then Skeleton able to do 96k on that Miraidon. Faith, though, leading the charge, 113 on the Delmice.
Yeah, wow, the Delmice, a Pokemon that's fairly recent to the game. It had its moment when it was the most broken thing anyone's ever seen, and then it's just kind of been okay since then, but definitely looked really good here. I mean, if you hit those anchor shots, especially when you've got low mobility attackers like that Solar Beam Venusaur in the back line, those anchor shots can be devastating.
It really could. I mean, you saw multiple times they were able to hit either the Mew or the Venusaur. A couple of anchor shots that I saw hit one of those targets and then into the Mamoswine. It's just a lot of crowd control to deal with, and then you had the Mr. Mime on top of it. All that damage from your ADC and then the Miraidon. I mean, there's just not a shortage of damage doing a lot of good work there was this T1 squad. I like the comp. It was super fun to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. I think that Mamoswine really works in comps like this where, you've got some low mobility characters or some characters that are looking to do a ton of brawl, like Scissor, and then there's just the CC that comes down and kind of messes up its whole momentum. This was one of those good picks from this Venusaur that worked out really well in those moments, but still, the Greninja just devastating this team comp.
This is a good slow beam, but there just wasn't enough damage to follow up that didn't really get the value that you wanted. I mean, you see it here. Delmine's still upright, even with taking a couple of solar beams right to the face, able to continue brawling, self-sustain itself. I believe might have been a focus ban there too, but yeah, just a lot of good work here. One big push here on this T2. Just easy pickings. They're just able to kind of go front to back, easily walking in with team fight wins after one.
Yeah, there were also a lot of times where I saw this slow beam connect onto one of these defenders. I saw like the Mamoswine or the Crustle in the previous game where I saw the slow beam hit. Like here, I believe that's where they used it on the Mamo. I feel like you really need to use that slow beam on the Greninja or maybe even the Miraidon, but I feel like the Greninja is really your prime target there. I just don't think you use it on the defenders in those situations.
This was a close bit of battle. I would have loved to see Venusaur just kind of play alongside its team. It kind of got picked out of position there. Mr. Mime and the Miraidon both able to do it, and that really was like one of the big secure tools that they had. If Venusaur's upright, if they're playing on the more left side...
I'm really far behind in my camera. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, there we go.
I think it was like the wrong something. I don't know. I was like leaned far forward. I looked weird, but I guess we're back.
I guess we're back. Yeah, I think if Venusaur played on a little bit more of the left side, might have been fine. Wouldn't have gotten picked off, and that was a big secure tool that they didn't have. And obviously, you saw Miraidon was able to get that Kyogre. By the way, pretty good first round for That's Danny. We'll see who they are going to be matched up with next. Any thoughts before we head on to break this game?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these sets coming in for who's winning and who's going down here. So we have a couple that are still in progress. We're waiting to see how those are going to shake out, and then we'll be able to see those next rounds being set up. But yeah, an exciting opening here to our Swiss version of Underdunk 70.
Underdunk 70, yeah, we'll roll on. We're going to take a quick break, so don't go too far, folks. We're going to get at the very minimum match or round number 2 set up. If we could get a game 3 of any of the other sets that are ongoing, we'll try to drop you into one of those. But for now, we're going to take a break. On the other side, more Underdunk 70 after this. Welcome back, trainers. Underdunk number 70, and we are in round number 2 of our Swiss format. We are going to take a look at Exodia, who recently just won the Articuno Unite League Season 11 Championship, And then we are also going to take a look at Aaron Mack, which is a player, but also a team. It's not just a 1v5 situation. Maybe it will be. Who
It's
knows?
just one guy, Aaron.
Just one guy.
He's just playing. Just him versus Exodia. He's got this.
Surely fine. I mean, there are 4 other players on the team. Sure. But taking a look at our first round, Aaron Mack took down UTA, and Exodia took down DT Platinum, which is meaning that both of these teams are in that winner's record. I always want to say bracket here, but it's not really a bracket. It's just kind of like, it's vibes, almost, maybe.
Yeah, just the vibes.
Is that what it is? Yeah, it's the winning vibes is what these 2 teams are. And then, obviously, one of these teams is going to be losing this match because we can't have ties here in Pokemon Unite. So, one of these teams is going to go into round number 3, 3-0, and likely going to be closing in closer to the top of the leaderboard tonight. One team is going to try to fight back their winning record.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Exodia win the Articuno League the other week. Really good team. And Aaron Mack as a player, we've seen quite a lot. Aaron Mack as a team, I don't know, but I'm sure they're great.
Yeah, we'll take a look to see how things are lining up. I believe we do have to swap the teams because Aaron Mack surely on Aaron Mack. I feel like it would be a crime if it wasn't that way.
He's on Exodia, and
Aaron Mack is on Exodia.
Aaron Mack's actually he swapped last minute, so they got a sub on Aaron Mack for Aaron Mack. So he was busy playing for Exodia tonight. But yeah, so the bans here: Blastoise ban, Charizard ban, Psyduck ban. The Wigglytuff ban is particularly interesting. I imagine you're just trying to take that. I forget who plays it on Exodia, but they're super annoying with it. You just don't really want to let them have it.
You really don't. Yeah, Charizard Y, Psyduck, Mega Lucario, Blastoise, Wigglytuff, and the Umbreon going to be all 6 of your bans for game 1. That does leave open this Mega Gyarados, though, and that is immediately taken from Exodia.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would absolutely be taking that one when that's not banned, but that also means that Vaporeon is an option, and they're going to go ahead and pick it up. I'm still assuming that the sides need to be swapped. So Aaron Mack is going to be taking the Vaporeon. They're also going to be grabbing this Mimikyu, a Pokemon that we were talking about earlier as being highly picked in the previous tournament. So we'll see how it ends up performing tonight.
See, yeah, we got that Mimikyu, Vaporeon, and then Tired Alex going to line up that Mamoswine. Sarah locking in the Mewtwo Y, which I think Mewtwo Y is probably, and this might be painful for me to say, because of how much I love playing Miraidon and feel like it's one of the strongest. I think Mewtwo Y might have surpassed it as one of the best attackers, if not the best attacker in the current meta. Still think Miraidon's pretty good, and I think teams are kind of feeling the same way, considering it's getting gobbled up, but it might be maybe just a slight tier below this Mewtwo.
Yeah, the Sableye, that's a tie-dye classic, of course. So that's going to be coming out tonight as well. I also remember Sarah's Mimikyu being absolutely ridiculous. So I feel like maybe the taking Mimikyu early was kind of a strat because this player is absolutely insane on it. But they will be grabbing the Mewtwo Y instead. Another Pokemon that is extremely high valued. And then Machamp Palmot to round us out.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. But I imagine with this leftovers on the Machamp, we've got kind of a support style build.
Yeah, probably. I imagine we're going to see some sort of invade from them. I do love that. I think you're kind of countering the Sableye by doing so, because Sableye is likely going to invade. This is something I love to see. We have 2 leftovers in 2026, 1 on each side. Wow,
2 entire leftovers.
We're hungry,
That's
baby.
Crazy. But the Mew Miraidon is interesting. We've been seeing kind of this double attacker team composition for a while, but with these items on Miraidon, the special attack specs and drive lens. I imagine this is still a charge beam, right? I'm not like as familiar with Miraidon, but so it seems like this is going to be a double attacker backliner team composition, which we have been seeing fairly frequently on, especially on this Kyogre map, specifically attackers who have area effects or skill shot moves that they don't have to target a specific player because you can use it to chunk down enemies hiding in bushes and things like that. So we'll have to see how it ends up working for the side of Aaron Mack. But yeah, Exodia versus Aaron Mack. Here we go.
Here we go. I would be shocked if we see a charge beam here. I think it might be a electro drip. Either way, Exodia on your purple side, Aaron Mack gonna be on your orange side, and this shop is looking for an invade, and I think Sableye is looking to do the same.
Yeah, that's just the swap sides on the invade. Yep. That's always the funniest part. But yeah, Palmot in the central area trying to get some experience, but you know, when you see a Sableye on the other side, you kind of know it's going to be invading. When you see a Machop on the other side, you don't necessarily think it's going to be invading. So far, unsuccessful. I don't know if they thought that it would be Miraidon in that central area, but that is a difficult one to invade against.
It really is. Good last hitting ability. Vaporeon's going to send this Machop scattering actually towards the enemy Citrus Berry. Going to grab that. Also going to make their X speed work and might look for a last hit on this red buff, and they make out with it. However, they may pay for a lot of damage there. Nice little Thunder Shock, sending Machop all the way back.
Yeah, so I guess not... Doesn't seem like super successful invasions because we do see that Palmy's now Palmo. Sableye doesn't seem to have gotten a ton out of that experience, and Machop also was sent back. So it just kind of seems like a handshake on the unsuccessful invasions so far.
Gonna look to engage on this T1. There's a big engage here from Aaron Mack. The Electro Ball as well as the Muddy Water into the Sableye stun, looking pretty good. One Musted Auto for good measure, and that is a full 3 Pokemon down for Exodia, and that means they're going to go ahead and push into this T1 goal zone. 23-24 along with that 19. This goal is at 4 already.
Yeah, that's a lot of points already going in. I wonder if they're going to want to try to break this goal zone early or leave it up. It really depends on the team. I mean, you have Sableye that can do a lot of damage on the opposite side of the map, so maybe you do just open it up for that Pokemon to go score in Tier 2 goal zones, or you try to wait for a big overcap. But right now, Aaron Mack definitely has the scoring advantage, but we do have a Gyarados now online for Exodia that could also do some damage.
Champ is trying to find this hidden Sableye. They eventually find it. Icicle Crash is going to land down. Sableye is going to try one last ditch effort to get away, and somehow almost getting away, but eventually the ice is going to fall in the Mamoswine's favor. Now we're going to make their way towards this Regidrago. Electro Drift is going to connect on that Mega Gyarados, and Blush is going to get over to that tall grass.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to be... I thought it was still Charge Beam, but it's not. It is the Electro Drift looking to dive into that back line. So far, unsuccessful. The Mimikyu is taken down, and the Miraidon taken down shortly after. So even though Aaron Max looks to be ahead in that score right now, Exodia is going to make a push of their own and shrink that just a bit.
Just a little bit. Muse is going to make a little bit of work on this Registeel. Piloswine just kind of hiding in this tall grass, trying to look for an angle, but great vision from the Sableye is going to prevent that from happening. So Registeel might leash if they're not too careful. They are very careful. Mew's going to take that. Now we have an attack buff for Aaron Mack as they make their way towards this T1 goal zone. Great stuns from Sableye enables this Mew to score their 30.
Yeah, that is going to break that goal zone. Sableye will continue on, and just like I said, they will push into that Tier 2 goal zone, get some more points in. Sableye is interesting because you just don't really have to show up to fights. You just be annoying and then leave. And sometimes people like that, and that works out for them. But we do have in the top path now the fight breaking out up here. Regieleki already went over to Exodia, but Aaron Mack trying to make something happen here.
May have gotten their hands caught in the cookie jar here. Mimikyu down, Sableye down, and the Mew all down. Vaporeon might be next on the chopping block if they're not too careful, but this Palmot is trying to make things work on the opposite side. Eterna, though, able to get away to safety. Another engage here from that flip turn. Miraidon looking to close the deal here. Eterna dangerously low. They eventually get taken out. Electro Drift going to do the work. Machoke now going to run towards the home goal zone. Might take a little bit of a Pokemon on the way out, and they're just going to back from it.
Yeah, they're just going to visit and then try to make it back. They will. I believe the Electro Ball came out, too, and then it just wasn't able to get them in time before they were able to make it back. It's always funny when we see the Electro Ball fly across. Wasn't there, like, a bug or something where, like, the Mimikyu, if you shadow tag them when they're going back, like, you follow them or something like that, and then there's been, like, some weird mechanics where if you throw an Electro Ball, it, like, follows you if you go through the Hoopa portal or something. It's always funny when stuff like that happens.
Not gonna happen here. Aaron Mack, they're gonna try to zone out this Machoke from getting towards this bottom objective, but Exodia actually very sneakily looking for this T2 push on the top side. Gyarados gonna waterfall in, 28 points gonna go in there. Mimikyu a little bit late on the response, going to try to waterfall into a little bit more of safety from their teammates. And that's going to enable a big KO there. That Mimikyu goes down 24 points now, in addition to that previous one, and this is a goal zone broken.
Yeah, Vaporeon not able to make that jump in time, so that goal zone will be gone. Exodia definitely extending their lead. It looked like Aaron Mack was doing pretty well in that early part of the game, but Exodia is prepared for it. Here comes the big barrage blow, looking for a secure, not able to make it happen. They just kind of go right through the Regirock and leave it nice and open for that Mew to secure.
Might have been a little bit of a misfire there from a champ. I liked the vision. I liked the play. Execution left a little bit to be desired. Or they might have had it. Nice little play rough onto this Mega Gyarados into the play with me. Gonna likely send Gyarados packing, but instead they're gonna go underneath the water, under the field, come right back up onto this Mimikyu, who is in between 4 members of Exodia. They're going back to the Pokemon Center. Vaporeon, as they normally are, full HP. And this Pokemon is insanely tough to take down. Another little push here for Exodia. Palmot takes down the Sableye, and more points going in.
Yeah, Gyarados is just so annoying. Here comes that Electro Drift, and there it goes. It's going back. See you later. So, Exodia now looking to continue this push. They will break another goal zone, and now there's only one more breakable goal zone standing for Aaron Mack. I feel like at this point you just kind of have to get some experience on your side of the map. You don't really want to look for any engagements right now. Sableye gonna go down here. Vaporeon should also just walk away, see what experience you can get on your own side.
The champ's doing pretty well here. I mean, obviously there's that little blunder, but I'm loving the plays here. They're constantly on that enemy side of the map. I mean, look how just kind of annoying they are to this squad. Just kind of baiting out some cooldowns. They are going to bait out this Electro Drift Miraidon into a little bit of danger. Sableye's going down. Another Electro Drift incoming. Going to dish out some damage, but punching right back. Palmot getting some value. 289, 143, 15 seconds till Kyogre.
Yeah, I mean, the way that you can play this Machamp, it's kind of the supporter, like, weird roamer role. You can just go down. It doesn't really matter if you're being lost there. So it was a really good play for them to just kind of walk in, bait out some of the Pokemon on their side, and then basically sacrifice themselves to give up some more KOs to their own team.
Another Electro Drift there. Miraidon in a blender of damage, unable to use their Unite move. Mewtwo Y is going to hit that Mega Evolution stage right now. Now Gyarados also going to do the same, going to try to waterfall into the backline, unable to do so. Icicle Crash going to land on the Mimikyu, eject over the wall. Oh, Sableye with a great stun there, but here comes a Barrage Blow, met immediately with the play with me. Bits on this Mew, gonna look to try to end this Mamoswine, gonna stun them up, but meanwhile, Kyogre getting worked on by Exodia, they're gonna look for it, they're gonna get it, Husky!
Sableye just a second too late. They almost had it in time with the Unite move, but this was all Exodia's game. Now they just have to get some points in. The Electro Drift comes back out. The Electro Drift will do nothing, as we have seen. There's the GG. Exodia gonna take your game number 1. You know, I have not liked Electro Drift. I feel like, I mean, I guess it was like particularly behind in this game, but I just have not liked that move. I feel like it just has not been nearly as impactful recently as the Charge Beam has.
Yeah, I mean, I like the vision with Charge Beam, but yeah, it was just kind of like a really difficult comp to go into. I mean, you had a lot of things that were just kind of disrupting, so I see why, with Machamp kind of wanting to play more of an invade style, especially with submission, kind of able to bypass a lot of crowd control and get on top of the attackers. So I see why you want to do it, but yeah, just unfortunately for Aaron Mac's squad, didn't quite provide the value that they were looking for. I loved watching this Mewtwo Y play. I thought they were perfectly weaving in and out of a lot of the damage, and see right there, didn't really take a whole lot, only took 21.
Yeah, they were not really touched in that backside. I did like the Pawmot here. I feel like we've seen Pawmot, like a couple teams are trying to make it work, and sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't, but Eterna looked great on it. I think, when this thing gets ahead early, it can brawl a little bit, then it does pretty well. Normally, I would look at this comp and say that Pawmot is not great into this composition, but it looked really good here.
Yeah, I like Pawmot right now. We're not seeing it a ton, but every time we see Pawmot, I'm like, oh, yeah, this Pokemon is kind of fun. It does a lot. It has a lot of great self-sustain. So when there are those more brawly style comps that come out, I think this Pokemon performs really well. I saw EU used it quite a bit during UCS Week 2. I think I saw it like maybe a handful of times over in NA. But yeah, I'm definitely liking it. I think even when we were watching Articuno Unite League this past weekend on Friday before UCS, I believe it was Exodia that was using it a fair amount.
Yeah, I think this team particularly has tried it out a couple times, and they like it. I think setting it up with some harasser supporter like the submission Machamp is helpful, because it just sets it up for opportunities. We did see it do too well there, but at this point in the game is where we started to see Exodia really come online. They had a great fight here in this top path.
Yeah, they were able to really put some things together there, and nice little defensive stand here. Good plays here from Aaron Mac. They were able to get a little bit. This Mimikyu, however, just kind of getting caught there. Psy Strike into the Pawmot, and Pawmot just kind of pressing forward, getting that double and that triple KO. Now, of course, Vaporeon, every time we see Vaporeon Husky, I feel like this Pokemon has a full HP bar.
Yeah, it just doesn't go down, but unfortunately for Aaron Mac, it didn't really matter for Exodia. They were able to work around the Vaporeon and its tankiness, and this is where we saw the Machamp bait out a couple Pokemon on Aaron Mac and then proceeded to get some KOs for that side. And this was also a very dominant fight for Exodia. Great Unite move here from this Mimikyu to at least get away for a second, but still not enough to beat this squad. Definitely a well-fought game here for Exodia in game number 1.
Sableye almost came in clutch with the secure. That would have been probably one of the steals of the century, because Sableye not a great last hitter
of all time,
but it would have been fun. It would have been fun. Game number 2, obviously coming up very shortly. We had a pretty standard draft. Obviously, a couple Pokemon making it through, notably that Mega Gyarados made it through. Do you think that we see that Pokemon again? It looked pretty insane.
I don't know. I feel like in that game there wasn't a ton of fighting. It was just kind of map dominance from Exodia, and by the time they got ahead, there wasn't really any fights anymore. There was really just Exodia going in and everyone immediately going back to the Pokemon Center. Like, it didn't really seem like we really got the full taste of what Mega Gyarados can do. So it's hard to say whether any one Pokemon stood out on Exodia's team composition as something that needs to be banned out. But in terms of what we know the meta looks like, giving away the Mega Gyarados to a team like that seems like you probably just should take it out. Or if you take first pick, which it doesn't look like here as we're getting some information, Exodia is still going to be that first pick slot. So I feel like you just got to ban out that Mega Gyarados, or you got to have a specific plan to counter that Pokemon.
Let's get into it. Gonna be Kyogre once again here in the Thea Sky Ruins. I think we've seen Kyogre every single match so far. So this is 4 not Wendy's, not sponsored, but that'd be kind of cool. Wendy's sponsored.
Wendy's? Get us a Frosty. Send us a Frosty, Wendy's. Oh
I
my
would
god, a
want a Frosty
Frosty
right now.
sounds so good. In the chat, what kind of Frosty do you get at Wendy's? Let us know.
Vanilla.
Of course you do. No, I love a vanilla Frosty. I go back and forth between vanilla and chocolate. I like them both.
I like
don't
those, but
discriminate.
they have like kind of like this crunch one that has like some brownie batter and stuff in it.
Oh, I
that
haven't
one
had that
is kind of insane. All
Now,
right,
do
bands.
you go for sorry, but I have to ask this. Do you
Yeah,
go for a
finish.
Frosty or a McFlurry if you had to choose?
Oh. Okay. I like the McFlurries a little bit more, but
Me
only
too.
the Oreo kind. Only the
Me
Oreo
too.
kind.
Oh, really? I'm an M&M
yeah.
McFlurry purist.
I
love
don't
it, M&M
mind
McFlurry.
them, but like it's like Oreo McFlurry, Frosty, M&M.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I
But
do
I'm not like I don't discriminate because I do
yeah,
love
like
all
like if
sorts.
someone like hands you an M&M McFlurry, like you're not gonna be like ew, but you're just gonna pick an Oreo, you know?
True.
Like for me,
True.
it's the same. Like if someone's like, I got you this Oreo McFlurry, I'll be like, yes, oh my god, thank you so much. But like if I got to pick, I would pick M&M. Anyway, we do have a draft going on.
I guess. I mean, I could talk about sweets all day. but-
I like the boring part of Underdunk is when we have to actually watch the games. But let's take a look at what we've got so far. Mega Gyarados was in fact banned by Aaron Mack, but this time Exodia just picked up the other Mega first. They grabbed the Mega Lucario.
Mega Lucario, yeah, Machamp once again. We also have that Mamoswine, so we are looking relatively the same. So, still Mega Pokemon, still very insanely powerful right now. Taking a look to see what else we might round out either of these squads. I love a good Mew, and this Palmont, I assume, will come out again. And yeah, very all-roundery. 3 on Exodia's side. So far, only 1 for Aaron Mack, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe another one come.
Yeah, I think that Exodia tends to like the being heavy on the all-rounders, kind of double brawl, double frontline. I think that works really well with a Pokemon like Palmont because you kind of need to set it up to be jumping into a brawl with a lot of Pokemon in it. So if you have something a little bit tankier in that front line, you know, like a Mamoswine, like a Mega Lucario, then that ends up working pretty well. I do like this pivot here from Aaron Mack to go with the Ceruledge Blaziken because you can kind of handle that brawl a little bit better. So we've kind of got like really tanky composition for Aaron Mack with 1 backliner, and then Exodia kind of looking for the same thing. So we're probably going to see very brawl heavy game number 2.
Looking at the chat, we have some answers to our sweets discussion. Thoob said mix. Robin said vanilla. We have Oreo McFlurry.
Read the rest of Robin's.
I'm not gonna
comment.
read the rest of what Robin
Yeah,
said.
she's let her speak. You know.
She said she'll big eat my. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna pretend like I don't know what that means. Are we sleeping on Sonic Blasts?
I don't have a Sonic. I don't think.
I don't have
near
a
me.
Sonic close to me. Yeah, I've had them pretty good, but it's too far. McDonald's literally like almost walking distance from me. So
Yeah, there's always a McDonald's nearby. Sonic near me. Now I gotta look because I haven't really been living here that long to know if there's a Sonic in my area.
we'll find out. Hot Sonics in your area. Exodia
Oh,
on the purple side. Aaron Mack gonna be on your orange side. We are taking this Mew swine up down to the bottom path, and we are gonna handshake for a potential invade. No handshakes here. There's just gonna be some slaps.
Yeah, I think that from what I'm seeing, the nearest Sonic is in about 2 hours from me. There's not any
that's really
near
far.
me. They don't have any. Anyway, game of Pokemon Unite. Let me catch up. I was looking at Sonic. Now I'm hungry. Well, I was hungry the whole time. We do have Fakers sitting in the tall grass here waiting for this Machamp to try to catch something. We'll pop the X speed. A little bit of a chase down here in the central area. Machamp will go down.
T1 Faker. That's actually a great name. I didn't even realize that in the game 1. And we are going to push towards this T1 on the bottom side. You have Machamp now pivoting up towards the top. We have 4 members of Aaron Mack looking to siege this T1 goal zone. 7 points for the Mewtwo. Ceruledge's going to try to get that 14. Eventually it goes in. If not for a really good effort from the Mew. Oh, they might have been a little too deep. Swine up trying to take him. Oh, the Electro Ball is going to send the Ceruledge packing.
Threaded the needle with that Electro Ball there, and they still make it out. Well, at least For the time being, we do have the Mewtwo Y kind of hovering in that flux zone down there, whereas the rest of Exodia up here in this top path looking for some stacks. Currently a tie score, 47-47, as both teams just kind of stacking up, paying attention to their attack weights and invading the central area once again.
Why not? Getting a double KO, getting evolved as Eterna, now level 7 on that Palmot as they take everything from the central area of Aaron Mack. However, Blush able to respond as well as his Vaporeon to the invade. Machop getting caught between 3 members. Torchic trying to respond, and Machop, they might get out, but a nice little muddy water gonna send them back all the way to that home Pokemon Center.
Yeah, and again, I feel like when you're Machop and you're playing this way, it doesn't really matter if you're going down. If you're buying time for your team to, I don't know, invade the opposite side or potentially look for a Regidrago, I feel like you're still doing a pretty good job, even if you are still a level 4 Machop.
Good secure there for this Machoke. Able to secure their own experience themselves. Palmot going to do a lot of heavy lifting there. Musted auto. Now we have this Mega Mewtwo Y down in the bottom path, able to help take out that Lucario. So good little push here for Aaron Mack. But this Machoke is in heavy pursuit of this Combuskin. However, they pivot backwards, and they are going to get to safety. I think they're just buying some time here.
Yeah, they're so annoying. They just so much movement speed on submission, plus they also have X speed. Grab the berries. They're kind of playing like the Snorlax would, stealing the berries and then kind of just walking away. They will go down here to the Vaporeon, but they try to set up the rest of the squad. Aaron Mack, though, hanging on really well with that tanky front line.
Eventually, we're going to make our way towards this Registeel, and that's exactly what Blush is going to do, as well as this Mega Evolved Mewtwo Y. Looking for the secure. Ceruledge able to slice that steel down. Now Psystrike's going to connect with good body blocks there. Machoke responds. Going to take out that legendary Pokemon. Snorlax on the backside, able to get a nice 9. Palmot taking down that all-rounder counterpart of the Ceruledge. And we have a little bit of a blender here. Vaporeon X-speeding out over towards that central area.
This time we do see the Aqua Ring on the Vaporeon. I love the healing build. I always love when there's healing options on Pokemon. It's just fun to see, you know, how much you can enable your team. But we are seeing that pivot this time as opposed to last game when we saw the flip turn. So they're just trying to heal up the team a little bit better, make them as tanky as what we're seeing on Aaron Mack's side. This is very tanky team compositions. So right now, we're not really seeing anybody being bursted down. Instead, a lot of heavy brawling. Palmot now jumping in on the Mewtwo Y. They try to get away. They are taken down.
Immediately deleted. Ceruledge also tried to avoid a lot of damage with that Phantom Force. However, now it's Exodia pushing on this T1 goal zone. A couple of small points in, trying to get that attack weight working. Was that Mega Lucario? Now we finally, despite the best effort from the Indeedee, get that 25 in. Snorlax going to respond to the bottom path. Now we have a Mewtwo Y Unite move. Some low HP bars on Exodia. Piloswine's going to go down. Palmot going to self-sustain through this fight. Take down the Vaporeon. Eventually going down. Now we have the Mega Lucario. Close combat's going to heal them up. Some little points in for Aaron Mack, but eventually Ceruledge back to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, finally the Revenant Wren had to take down that Palmot. We do see the snipe from that Solar Beam will grab the Snorlax in the end, but both squads getting some high-value KOs in that situation. Lucario ended up making it out of that somehow. They were able to get away, but yeah, just a lot of sustain from both sides. We saw Lucario very low and then able to use that close combat in the Mega form, which is, you know, broken, obviously. So they were able to make sure that they're sustaining there. But, you know, it always surprises me how much sustain Palmot has in situations like that as well. So, well played from both sides. A couple good picks there and looking like they're potentially looking for an opportunity to grab somebody here.
There's a basement Reggie, and now we are going to see some Unites expended. Mamoswine as well as the Palmot for Exodia. Mamoswine able to escape just narrowly, at least for the time being. Well, that time has expired. Blaziken taking them. Machamp hiding in the tall grass, does not have access to their Unite move. No real follow-up, so they're going to try to play this one nice and slow. Reggie Rock on the chopping block now for this Ceruledge. Machamp trying to get their way in. The original grab on the Blaziken didn't work. Second attempt, also unsuccessful. Blaziken securing that Reggie Rock for Exodia. Or sorry, for Aaron Mack.
It has seemed like the Blaziken, it's gotten nerfed a couple times. It's been very good for a long time. I feel like teams have accepted that Blaziken isn't what it once was, but it's still a high value pick in a lot of situations just because of Overheat being such a good secure, even though it did get nerfed a little bit. But I also just think teams are used to it. There's a lot of players that play this Pokemon. Mew trying to bait out of the Ceruledge a little bit here. They do pop a Unite move and a little bit of a scuffle, kind of the last opportunity that teams can really scuffle before this endgame fight.
We have a Mega Lucario, so a scuffle has turned into a brawl. Gonna look for this Mewtwo Y, able to avoid it. I believe that was an eject button burn. So maybe not a tool that they'll have at their expense at the beginning of the Kyogre. Teams now going to start to scatter throughout this map, try to get their last little bits of experience in before this big fight. Snorlax being a bit of a pest on the side of Exodia, going to get chased down from this Machamp. Nice little focus blast into the Overheat. Machamp wisely going to retreat there, going to pull that submission onto the Snorlax, but getting caught is the Machamp, and now the Mega Mewtwo Y is going to also take out this Mamo.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Mamo and Machamp, you're probably just looking to get KO'd to make sure you got your Unite move back. They know that their KO timers are pretty low, and now they do have Unite moves back. Lucario, though, notably missing there, so they're going to be farming up just a little bit more experience to make sure they're able to get that Mega Evolution, though. Snorlax caught a little bit. Looks like both these teams looking to break this fight out early.
Yeah, Power Nap already expended right in the right moment. Mega Lucario is here. Revenant Ren slices through 3 members. No one down just yet. But Champ Barrage Blow doesn't quite hit exactly how they wanted. There's that Mewtwo, Infinite Cyburn, Exodia. They're starting to fall down. Mega Lucario very low. That's 4 members down. Aramag has only lost the Ceruledge. Snorlax has hit a triple KO. We have Palmot looking to go on in, but are they going to be able to get anything? Kyogre is low. Overheat is charged. Snorlax, though, able to take it.
Wow, what happened in that fight? Exodia, they tried to pop off a little bit early. You had Snorlax kind of go in a little bit too far. Thought they might go down for a second there, but no. Exodia are the ones who end up falling. I guess it really is just the tankiest team comp wins in the end. The Aqua Ring healing everybody up on the side of Aaron Mack, and they were able to withstand the Mega Evolution from Lucario and the Palmot with their self-sustain. Able to take it down, get that secure. It wasn't the Overheat, though, that did it. Of course, it was still that Snorlax able to take them down now. Aramag looking to get some points in here, but Exodia has been able to defend it, at least for the time being. Wow, the Lucario still able to defend. The Blaziken trying to get that Overheat. They will be able to take that KO. Great eject button there. 94 points go into the bottom path. Another 100 will go in from this Blaziken in the top, and I don't think Exodia is going to have enough time to bring it back.
Not at all. Aaron Mack's going to even up this series 1-1. Great final push there. Otherwise, Exodia might have had a shot if they were able to kind of get some of these KOs when they were looking for them on that T2. Could have been pretty dangerous for Aaron Mack, but they had kind of had a situation where they honestly probably weren't 100% sure if they were winning in that moment. I think at that point it was only like 20 points up, so very wisely they continue pushing, let that Kyogre buff heal them up and self-sustain, along with the already pretty decent self-sustain on their team. 666, 224. Aaron Mack is going to even this one up, and it's going to be 1-1, and we'll have a game 3.
Yeah, going to a game 3 here in this first Swiss Underdunk bracket, whatever, style, something. But yeah, that was, first game, Exodia, it really seemed like Exodia was the better team, right? Like they were in control that entire time. They didn't get themselves into fights that they couldn't win. And this time, it really seemed like Aaron Mack figured it out. They had a little bit of a tankier team composition. You can see it here with the numbers. Vaporeon healing almost 100,000 damage from the damage that Exodia was doing. I feel like all that damage from Palmot was basically just soaked up by what this Vaporeon was able to heal. We just see the value of having some of these tankier Pokemon on your side, and Exodia not able to bring it home there in game number 2, which means we get to go to a game number 3, and we get to see who is going to make it out here as your second round champions.
Yeah.
The second round of Underdunk. The champions of the second round.
We'll work out what we're going to call the winners. I mean, yeah, it's champions of the second round. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the replays, and we'll take a look at game number 2. And Exodia did look really strong early on. Saw some pretty successful invades on the Aaron Max side of the map, but Aaron Max was just kind of able to hang around time after time.
Yeah, look at the Vaporeon here as well. Like, just so much sustain with the Aqua Ring, plus the Muddy Water doing a lot of CC. You can get out of a lot of situations. Great fight here again for Aaron Mack. This was also great for Eterna. They lasted so long that the Revenant Ren needed to be the one to end up stunning them and taking them down. And still, though, Aaron Mack was able to break that goal zone. Just a lot of back and forth in so many of these fights that you could never really tell which team was actually ahead.
And I just want to note, we are going to go into game number 3. We do have a little bit of information. I also want to note specifically that our communication from production, specifically our observer, Bina, is saying Aaron Map choose Kyogre. I thought that was a really good pun. I think that was intentional. Aaron Mack's also going to be first pick this time, so we are going to see a little bit of a swap here. But this is a crazy Kyogre fight. Great Mewtwo Psystrike into the teleport to just kind of give themselves a little bit of extra space into that Mega Lucario, enabling that KO. The teleport there to avoid Eterna. Insane work from this Mewtwo. Very dangerously low, though. Nice little shield there from that Buddy Barrier, I believe that was, from Vaporeon. Was just enough to make that work. And I believe it is Snorlax sending it home.
Slap. Yeah, you see the flails lined up. Overheat. Comes out just a sliver left on the Kyogre. There's the flop from Snorlax with the boosted attack. Just a little bit of a flop, a little bit of a smack. And that smack will be what brings us to game number 3. Aaron Smack.
Aaron Smack. Hey, we got some puns already.
I can't keep my blood sugar up, dude. This is my 3rd juice box here. Got them lined up. These 2 are apples, so this one's a fruit punch. So maybe that'll actually keep it. There are 15 carbs in each box. So this is now 45 carbs, and still, hello? What are we doing?
Yeah. Come on, juice. Do the juice thing. Well, luckily this is the last game.
Juice it up.
Last game. Juice. Juice it up. Orange juice? Apple juice? What kind of juice is it? What do we got?
Fruit punch on this one.
Okay. All right.
Apple on the other 2. I think this is my last one in the fridge, but we'll see.
What are the juice tier list? We talked about Frosty tier list.
Appy Juicy. Apple juice is the best juice. Okay. Very obviously. I don't think it's even in contention. Apple juice is the best juice. I like orange as well. I like fruit punch. I like some of your I like the clear ones better generally.
Okay. What about pineapple juice?
Pineapple juice, I'm not it's very citrusy.
Yeah.
So I feel like the sourness of it's not gonna cleanse the palate for me personally.
I'm with you.
I feel like as well,
pineapple
though,
more than apples.
Yeah, I like pineapples as a fruit better.
Mm-hmm. We also have a white grape juice in the chat. White grape juice.
White grape, very good. Also, keep in mind my perspective of juice has now shifted since becoming diabetic, because now juice is basically medicine. Because I'm really not going to have juice unless I'm low. But still, apple juice, an all-timer for me personally.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I think you are the juice expert, so I think that's kind of what it is. But yeah, I'm with you that apple juice provides kind of the sweetness, enough acidity, where enough sourness, but it's not overpowering, so it is going to refresh you, that some of the other juices don't give you. What about lime juice? How do you feel about lime juice?
To just drink it raw?
Yeah. You don't do that?
You drink lime juice raw?
You don't?
No, can't say I do. Can't say I do.
Just...
But you know who does? This Snorlax first pick, potentially. I don't know how to transition that. I tried.
Me neither.
I don't know how to transition that in. We've got bans. Yeah, bans. Bans and stuff. Expected bans. Double megas banned here for Air and Mac, so they are going to lock in that Snorlax first pick. They liked that flail. They liked it a lot.
Yeah. They did. The duck ban too, so I think this is a very wise ban because it is very disruptor-like, and and there are a few players on either squad that like to play those disruptors. Taking that out of the hands is always wise. Like you said, that is that first pick Snorlax, so lining up the Flail Axe once again, it worked very well for them, obviously. Hitting that big secure at the Kyogre, very valuable. Exodia, they're going to lock that Vaporeon again, or not necessarily again, but they are going to lock in that Vaporeon along with this Mewtwo Y. I love Mewtwo Y right now. Again, I think it's probably the best attacker, if not top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, that also means that if you first pick the Snorlax, that means you give up Vaporeon. Tired Alex was one of our traders to watch on Vaporeon, if you saw that earlier. But that does mean Aaron Mack of Aaron Mack himself will also be able to take that Mega Lucario again. And we saw do really well, had a lot of tankiness, and Exodia seems to be pivoting their strategy entirely. They are not really going for this tanky frontliner team composition. They are looking instead to try to just burst everything down. They're going to burst right through that CC heavy frontline with Zoroark, apparently. That has not really been doing great after the Comfey nerf, so I guess we'll see what that looks like for them, but Zoroark, I already forgot what it was named. This is what happens when my blood sugar's been low for too long. I lose brain cells rapidly.
I feel it. But yeah, this is very interesting to see the Zoroark. I think when we look at the overall stats from Unite API, I think Zoroark over the last few patches has been kind of bottom tier and kind of below everything else. I think at one point it was the lowest win rate, but somehow, some way, it still finds a way into competitions.
Yeah, I mean, Zoroark bottoming, kind of expected these days, but what's definitely topping is this Blaziken, and by topping, I of course mean the charts and nothing else. What are you guys thinking about? What did you think I meant? But regardless, I like the pivot here from Exodia. They're a team that always has kind of something different going on, so they don't normally get too comfortable with any one comp. They kind of pivot regardless if they win or lose, which I do like that strategy. Just kind of, it shows how deep their mon pools are. They can kind of pick anything. They can go with any strategy, and it keeps the other team on their toes. So we'll see how it works out here. Game number 3.
Game 3, Aaron Mack on your purple side, Exodia gonna be on your orange side, and we are gonna take this Snorlax to the top path for the time being, but you see them take a nice little right turn through that central area. It means they are going for an invade, and it looks like Vaporeon, this little Eevee, looking to meet them in the middle.
Yeah, they're seeing, I think they were going for an invade, and I think they might have saw the Snorlax, and instead, they just decided to go down to the bottom path and hope that the rest of the squad is able to deal with the Snorlax, and they are. I don't know if the Snorlax there was expecting that Latias and Zoroark would be together in that central area, but, I mean, it worked out for them. They swiftly took down that Snorlax, and now they're moving to the top path.
Was that a pun? Because they used Swift to take it.
It was.
That was so good. That was so good.
I've been waiting to see if Swift gets a KO so I can use that for so long. It's rare. It doesn't usually happen.
No, it's so good. Because, yeah, I mean, you only have it usually for the first, minute of the game.
I love it.
Maybe we'll get a...
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
get
see.
a Pokemon that has it as, a second ability. That would be cool, but... Somebody,
keep using Swift to get a KO and make sure it's on camera so that I can use that pun specifically. It's sometimes casting takes a lot of setup. If you have puns, ready on the docket. You don't always get to use them. And then like sometimes even if you have something ready for a while and like there is the situation where you can use it, you'll like forget because like you're just in the moment.
It happens so many times to me. Happening to this Fletchender is the Zoroark finding a KO, which is kind of what you expect from a Zoroark early in the game, so they want to try to stay ahead. So they're putting on a lot of pressure on the enemy, but Lucario able to counterpunch. Musted Auto connects and takes that Zoroark. Hands in the cookie jar for Exodia.
Yeah, that cookie jar. There's so many hands trying to get in it all the time. Like, do they ever even get the cookie?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
do they? I don't know.
Do they get one? Or what? We do see Talonflame jump in. Big Brave Bird there will take down that Vaporeon. I mean, one way to get through a tanky team composition or a tanky Pokemon like the Vaporeon is just burst it down before it can do anything about it. Talonflame so far looking pretty good at that level 7.
Zoroark balancing its cooldowns and balancing those citrus berries, able to find that Mew eventually. Talonflame also going down. Eterna also going to continue to keep this pressure on, but nice little defense here from the Snorlax Piloswine combo. 720 birds on the map. Exodia looking to shred on through them. Mist Ball actually going to be play here for Sarah on this Latias. Another Brave Bird's going to connect. Vaporeon's going to connect to the Pokemon Center. But we have the Mega Mewtwo going to get lifted up by that Ice Fang, returned by that Psy Strike, and that is going to send them to the Pokemon Center. Regirock now going to enter the fray on the bottom side.
Yeah, Regirock. We're going to see who's going to be putting it in their handbag and if there's going to be cookie jars involved, or maybe if the handbag was the cookie jar and you kept cookies in the handbag instead. I guess we'll have to figure that out. But Exodia wins that bottom path pretty easily, but that does mean Regieleki goes over to Aaron Mack on the top side. The rest of Aaron Mack, though, has tried to defend this basement goal zone. So far unsuccessful. The goal zone was broken and a couple KOs over to this Zoroark.
1v1 on the bottom side went the way for this Latias. Mew going to try to connect on its counterpart, the Sun, Mewtwo. But points going to go in for Exodia as they siege this T2 goal zone. Aaron Mack, though, on the top side, able to kind of solo this top path, get a lot of value there, broke that T1. Blaziken in the central area for Exodia, going to be able to take that Regidrago, which enabled this Vaporeon to have a little bit of time, scored a little bit, but eventually they are going to take a trip to the Pokemon Center.
We do have a couple Unite moves now online, so teams might be looking for a push here. Notably, though, only level 7 on this Piloswine. That's kind of now level 8, but that can kind of be the disadvantage of running a 3-stage defender because it requires so much experience to get its Unite move. So that is going to be looking for some level 9 somewhere. We do have Mega Evolution out here for Lucario. Really big push here for Aaron Mack into this Tier 2 goal zone.
And they're trying to go for it. Lucario eventually is going to perish. Honestly, amazing dance moves from Tamatama on this Blaziken to dodge a couple of Unite moves, specifically that Flame Sweep. Now they're going to meet towards this top side. Mew going to pop that Mystical Mirage just to avoid a lot of damage from that Mewtwo. Exodia unable to push in there because of that Unite. And now Aaron Mack going to respond to that T1 push. And right now, halfway through the match, 203-118 with the Snorlax on the invade.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, you just get that Mew Unite move out. You know, they won't have it for the next set of objectives, but it doesn't really look like Exodia is fully committed to this top path. They're going to go for this Regice instead. Lucario, though, has a close combat. They're going to look for a secure, not able to get it. In fact, they go down. Not sure how worth it that really was there, especially jumping into 3.
Gonna get caught there. Flame Sweep out once again from this level 12 Talonflame. Now doesn't have a Brave Bird yet, but they are gonna have a couple of aerial aces, and Latias gonna be the one to fall here. Another Mega Evolution for this Lucario as Zoroark dashes on away, almost getting taken down. They are still there. Gonna have to do 1 or 2 more dashes to get back towards that T1 pad. T1 Faker gonna look to be in hot pursuit on those 3 Pokemon as Regieleki is trying to push in towards that T2 goal zone. Exodia controlling this map, defending that T2 pad as well.
Zoroark just kind of walked in there, Unite moved, and left, but right now Zoroark doesn't seem to be far enough ahead to really be one-shotting anything. We saw try to get that Mew there, not able to get it. Talonflame does take them off take them out off screen. Now Mamoswine does have that level 10, is online, which I was about to say, may as well use its Unite move. It will go for it here, but Mewtwo does throw Unite move as well. Wow, the Mamoswine still making it out on 1 HP.
I think it might have been the Mystical Mirage that was able to help Mamoswine dodge some of that Mewtwo Unite. Insane work there. We got 3:10 on the clock and no objectives to be found right now, so teams kind of just focusing on their levels, making sure that they have their path priorities straight. There's finally going to be a timer on that bottom side, 25 seconds, and that is the Reggie Roulette in the bottom side.
Yeah, again, very back and forth game between these two squads. Talonflame, I feel like quietly level 14. We have seen them get some KOs here and there, but I feel like the level 14, like a full level above the highest level on the opposite side, and Zoroark isn't even necessarily close to that level 14. And Talon has just been kind of farming up this entire time, and level 14 Talonflame, very dangerous. Zoroark gonna try to go for them here, not able to. In fact, they will go down.
There's a good Ice Fang there from that Mamoswine. There's that Mist Blast from the Latias. And now Flame Sweep is going to be out from Talonflame as they go back to the Pokemon Center. Big block here from Snorlax to absorb some of the damage with that shield. Lucario kind of in a blender between 3 Pokemon. There is that Mega Evolution coming out, or a Cannon. Going to try to chase down this Vaporeon. Another Mucid Auto Electro Ball combo. Going to chase this Vaporeon, who's going to flip turn towards that T2. Now Kyogre has entered the fray. Overheat. Going to miss everybody. Kyogre just barely getting tapped here. Close combats out from this Mega. Already down at half. We are the big fight. It's going to be a flip. We're going to have Zoroark unable to go on in, and Lucario still Mega gets it, Husky.
Wow, what a scuffed fight there from both sides. You had Lucario using Unite move randomly. Doesn't really get anything done in that Mega Evolution. Talonflame went down there. Didn't really get much done using its Unite move a little bit early, and still Aaron Mack ends up pulling ahead here, taking out the Kyogre, using that Lucario's last little bit of its Mega Evolution gauge to rip it down to about half, and then it was just full flip from there. Great job from them for also zoning out everything that Exodia was trying to throw down, because the Zoroark had a Unite move that they were trying to get in there with, and the Mamoswine prevented that. Great playing there from Aaron Mack to kind of pull it back after kind of a scuffed start to that fight.
It really was, but yeah, like you said, pulled it back in. Mew goes down, so not all is lost. There's still 50 seconds left. If Talonflame goes down, we have one final push attempt. Hondo Burger in the central area for T1 Faker on the Snorlax. One final push here for Exodia incoming.
Yeah, they need about 300 points, so it's not going to be an easy task. They're going to need to get more points, even if they get what they have in currently. Lucario does have a Mega Evolution out, looking for that Blaziken. Not able to get them just yet. The jukes are on, and team's trying to jump in. Zoroark is going to dodge that Mucid auto attack there, but they're just barely living on a sliver right now.
Another Mist Blast this time into the Mega Lucario. Gonna get met by the Zoroark. That's a big KO. But unfortunately for Exodia, their time up in the winner's record might be done, because they are gonna go down in this set 2-1. Aaron Mack with a great Kyogre fight. More so the secure tools that they had. But either way, good comeback here after losing game 1.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it really did seem like Exodia was the team to beat after that game number 1, but Aaron Mack came and brought it back with 13 KOs on that Talonflame as well, and in the game at level 15 easily. Great playing there from them, and I feel like we were watching so much else happening on the map that we didn't really even catch a lot of those KOs, but Talonflame seemed to be a great pick, especially into that Zoroark. And yeah, I don't know. The Zoroark, I mean, it got the most KOs on their side, but it seemed to be outclassed by that Talonflame. I guess without a Comfey, the Zoroark is just a regular old fox.
Just a regular old fox. Just a little guy.
I
mean, still looked pretty good. Still looked okay at times, right?
Yeah, no, it was good. It's still, I mean, it's still Zoroark. It's good, but it seemed more like a regular speedster, you know? You jump in, you do your burst damage, and then you kind of just explode. So I guess it seemed like it was more brought down to where speedsters kind of should be, you know? And there were some moments where it got out of situations it definitely should have. But Aaron Mack is going to be the team to take it home here. Talonflame, the star of the Speedster show in game number 3.
And take a look at some of the replays here for game 3. It's a pretty good moment. Talonflame just like full sending it on the backside, whereas Lucario is able to kind of just 1v1 that Blaziken. Finding some KOs here as we get into the Kyogre fight. I mean, early on, we blow the Latias Unite. Talonflame able to avoid some of that with the shield from its Unite move, but unable to get the KO because it wasn't able to hit that Brave Bird. And then right here, this is the big decision, right? Because Exodia has control of the pit. We're going to Mega Lucario Unite move to send all of Exodia kind of scattering about.
Yeah, and I want to break this down here as well. So Lucario just about gets Kyogre to half before it devolves out of its Mega Evolution. And then this Zoroark picked up immediately on that side of the pit there. Mamoswine Unite moves. Zoroark also uses an illusion, has to Unite move, but can't get in. The rest of the squad also trying to get in here, but not able to before Lucario is able to Power Punch. So they were really able to bring that back there. Fantastic zoning from Aaron Mack's side as well, because 4 of them were over on one side of the map, but none of them could get into the pit enough to actually throw down an attempt at a secure. Yeah, great playing there and great secure at the end by that Lucario. We've got Karma now. He's showed up just at the last moment. Let's see.
Yeah. Look at him. Yeah, I think
move it out of the way?
At the time of secure, Lucario, it was like 1:45 on the clock. And Mega Lucario is only in Mega form for 25 seconds. So I feel like they use
it's in
every
Mega form
bit.
for 25 seconds? There's no way.
Yeah.
That's how
25.
long it lasts?
I mean, when did it Mega United at 2:10, I believe, was when it officially launched its Aura Cannon. And it was 1:45 when 1:45 when they secured it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and back up.
See.
We're backing up, baby.
151. Yeah, so we're backing it up.
We're backing it up.
It in Unite move?
Yeah, I think it's
I
like
was like,
officially
it lasts for 15 seconds. No, it was like 2:10 when it threw it, and then it's 150. It's under 150. When does it actually go out of Mega?
It secures it in Mega, so I think right after. So it's still charging up its power-up punch. Yeah, still Mega here.
Wow, that lasts a long time.
Yeah. It's just a great secure.
Yeah, it was still in Mega. I thought it was like, just as soon as they started ripping, then Lucario unmega'd. That's crazy. Why does it last that long?
I think there's probably a reason why this Pokemon gets banned so frequently. You're seeing exactly that.
25
like those moments.
Seconds.
25 seconds, yeah. So
That's
if you're able
insane.
to... I think sometimes like the problem that you see is Lucarios don't proactively Mega. And at first, when I saw that Mega Unite, I was like, that's kind of tough. That's too early. But uniting at full health, you have full health. And then they're deciding, let's just go ahead and rip it. This is our chance. We've used our Mega. And they used every second of it. So yeah, insane stuff from this team. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Aaron back is going to be 2-0. Zodia going to be 1-1. Husky, I think this is going to be end of the road for you this evening. But any final thoughts before we get you on out?
Yeah, I was just reading the insight on Mega Lucario. You can charge, power up punch, and hold the Mega longer.
That's probably
if
what
you're
happened.
Charging power up punch. That's unreal. That's my last words, I think, for tonight. I got an 8 a.m. that I got to teach tomorrow. And then a class right after that as well. And then another class I'm covering for someone else. So I've got a day. I'm going to go to bed. But don't worry. We've got the night team coming in to bring us home for the rest of Underdunk 70 this evening.
Alrighty. Well, trainers, don't go too far. We got round 3 action coming up. So we'll see you on the other side of the break. And Husky, we will see you in 2 short weeks. And welcome back in Pokemon Unite Trainers Underdunk number 70. We have a Swiss format. Well, with the new format comes some hiccups along the way, but don't fret. We have another match here in round 3, but we are going to pick you up into game number 2. It's going to be Ashen Ones, who won game 1, taking on Unite Divinity. And just as Husky has left, we have brought in another familiar friend, Jonathan Hyde, back to the channel, back to Underdunk. Welcome back in, Hyde.
It feels so good to be back, Kyle. I was watching those first 2 games. Now, listen, the first one was a toss-up. Nobody picked Sableye. But set 2 there, we saw Sableye come in. I was absolutely ecstatic. It didn't win, though. But the team that did pick it to come back for the 2-1 victory. So, Sable Diff, I'll take where I can get it.
Hey, we take what we could get. A little bit of information here if you're just tuning in. This is our first Swiss format we are going into, and we are in round number 3, meaning that some of these teams have already kind of made it through some of the tournament formats, and the only team that is, well, I guess not the only team that is undefeated. We have a couple of undefeated teams, Lunex Academy, Aaron Mack, as well as Actual Trash and Dats Daniels. So T1 squad. So we have 4 teams that are undefeated as of right now, and I believe that these 2 teams that we are going to see, I'm trying to take a look at the record. I believe these are 1-1 squad. So yeah, 1-1 Unite Divinity, along with a 1-1 record for Ashen Ones. Actually, sorry, Ashen Ones 1-0. I think they had a bye in one of their sets.
That makes sense. Yeah. Listen, I mean, hey, listen. That's a 1-1, maybe a 2-1, I don't know. But, I mean, listen, that's not a bad record to come into it. Like, it's only a 4-round event. You have you got 4 guaranteed games, unless you get the bye, because uneven team numbers. But you got 3 sets to win now if you're Ashen Ones, and you've already won your first one. Now you're looking to pick up your second one against Unite Divinity. And you're already 1 up, so you're in match point position to do just that.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty close, right? I mean, so technically I think they would still be undefeated, but potentially with a max record of 3-0, but that means that they're probably potentially, if we do see them win, they'll be taking on a very good squad of either Lunex, Aaron Mack, Actual Trash, or that T1 squad with Dats Danny. But let's get into game number 2. Ashen One's going to be on your orange side. Unite Divinity going to be on your purple side. Taking a look at the bands, Mega Charizard Y, as well as that Dark Cry.
I mean, listen, this is giving me a lot of good vibes of kind of like last summer. Darkrai was on the rise. This was when Charizard got buffed. You just get rid of these powerful Pokemon and get them gone. But one of the beautiful things I love about the current format, Kyle, is that we're banning a lot of these supportive Pokemon that are getting buffs. We got Blissey, we got Blastoise, we have Ceruledge, and Unite Divinity taking out Tyranitar? What did he do to you?
Yeah, the support Pokemon Tyranitar, as we all know and love. The support Pokemon Suicune, obviously an all-rounder background, but it tends to get played in more of that supporter/disruptor type role. Ashen Ones, though, they have some options on the table here. Rhydon, obviously a good one. Vaporeon, notably still available. You have Snorlax, you have Umbreon. There's a couple of options. I believe that's Umbreon that's going to get taken here for Ashen Ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's only Sirfetch'd and Meowth banned out for tonight, so everything else is on the table there. So, like you said, that Vaporeon still up, but Mamoswine, very strong picker, very strong engager. We're looking for a nice Pokemon there. Psyduck, huge CC. So with the Suicune, Psyduck, Mamoswine combo, Unite Divinity's already setting up to just output a lot of stuns.
Now I'm understanding why they went ahead and banned out that Blissey, right? Safeguard has the ability to kind of slow down that crowd control barrage that Unite Divinity wants to play with. Not a whole lot of tools that can do that. And take a look at this backline that they're setting up, right? Greninja along with potentially a Decidueye. I do see pivot away from, I would have loved a double ADC, kind of protect the president, but I do think that you need a little bit more frontline brawling, and I think Buzzwole fills that very nicely.
Oh, yes, it does, especially when you're going up against a Mewtwo X and an Urshifu. These Pokemon do not like being hindered at all when you have that extra bit to just flail them around. It gives you more opportunities to CC Chain. It gives more opportunities for Greninja to find a pick with its Water Burst Shuriken on a low HP Pokemon. But Hyro coming in with the Espeon pick for Ashen Ones.
Okay, yeah, Espeon on the back end, so I'm taking a look to see kind of how we are playing and how we are setting up these Pokemon. I believe that this Mewtwo the Mewtwo X is going to be playing more of that defender style role. I wouldn't be super surprised if we see this Umbreon maybe play some healing, since Mewtwo might be a little bit more frontline brawly. We do have kind of an eject button play going with this Urshifu, so I imagine that we are going to see single strike Urshifu, no water bearer, unless okay. And as I say that, little caster curse, we do switch over to that full heal, so that does lead me to believe that we are going to see that rapid strike.
Ooh, yeah, Rapid Strike could be too good to be taking down that Greninja. That's going to be a powerful Pokemon in the hands of Unite Divinity, not one they want to let get online and just have their way with their own backlines, especially on Espeon, who's going to be crucial in locking down Pokemons with that Psychic Solaire.
I have a few theories on how we play this Psyduck. I don't know if we go Surf, but when you lock in that Rapid Strike Urshifu, it leads me to believe that they're probably going to maybe pivot over to that Surf, because I think that originally when they were picking that Greninja, they were maybe lining up a Bubble Beam angle, because obviously Bubble Beam works really well when you have some ranged attackers. So we'll see how they end up playing it. I think also Psychic might be really good in these two attackers.
Yeah, Psychic's definitely going to go hard into this as well, being able to hold a pick. Again, they got that Mammoth, they got the Buzzwole, Psyduck. They're looking for picks, they're looking for runs, they're looking for these. But they're going to have to get through these lanes first there. So when they come through, they got to really go for the secure on these wild Pokemon.
Pokemon down in the bottom path immediately going to get met with some resistance here. Suicune boosted auto. Not going to do the trick here, but split that lane farm. Swinub is able to grab one as well as this Espeon. It's why you pick that Espeon.
Psyduck going straight for an invade on the Cubfu, though. We want to get that Pokemon behind. We don't want Urshifu as soon as possible there. But Ashen Ones is right there. They're looking for it. But the delay that's coming in. But Miraidon's coming in from behind to help out.
Good read here from this Miraidon, but even better read from this Psyduck, who was able to just walk away with that red buff. That's a really nice play. Successful invade here. Headache Gauge is going to get them to safety right before 850s.
We do have Urshifu online as well. They got to grab that move, click it in, and hope the cooldown's off there, because there's the Alterias. They're going straight in. They're trying to take down the Buzzwole, and it works. 4-man army into the top lane. Ashen Ones is ready to push and score some points. The first scores of the game coming in, knocking that goal down to 36 already.
Poor little Frogadier was trying to just take that Natu family, knowing that there was going to be outmatched. So just trying to get levels here. And Psyduck's going to be the first to fall. Buzzwole is that other interior Pokemon that is going to get taken out here. So Ashen Ones gets a lot of value off of this first push. They're going to get a little bit more from that additional goal from Mewtwo, and even more from this blue buff stolen from Urshifu.
Yeah, they're doing a great job coming into this central path, taking all the real estate that they can. You want to capture as many Pokemon, deny experience to Unite Divinity as much as possible. As the Regidrago hits the field, they have control of the pit, and they have free rip on this.
Free rip, as well as a lot of damage to follow up. If Buzzwole gets in there, he could steal it. Unsuccessful. Good secures there from Urshifu. Level 6 right now. And certainly trying to get as high as possible. You definitely want some Unite moves before the 7-minute objective.
Absolutely. There, we're still sitting at 47-0. Not many scores, not many stack weights there for the side of Unite Divinity there. But we have, look at this, down to the bottom. Ashen Ones putting on the pressure, trying to get more scores in. It's Piloswine in a dream, holding off 2 evolutions. They got the immunity buffs there, but they're able to take them down. Meanwhile, their Greninja's able to help them.
Yeah, Greninja was able to come down and help. So good plays there. Espeon somehow able to escape narrowly. I think a lot of crowd control, again, that we've talked about is just going to be really strong for Unite Divinity. So kind of stalling out these attackers has been pretty beneficial to them. They haven't really found a whole lot of value on it, right? 0 points scored in, and they're just now getting this Greninja online. Now going to fight over this Regieleki.
Yeah, the Regieleki is really low. They're able to get it. The last hit going to Ashen Ones there. Urshifu claiming the KO. As 1, 2, 3, 4 fall. It's Psyduck in a dream. Down there for the side of Unite Divinity. Regieleki's walking in. Are they going to be able to break it before it crashes? No, they don't. But look, Kyle, 137 to 0 as another 30 goes in on Plush.
Yeah, look at that. Mewtwo leaving it at 3 HP. It could potentially set up for even larger overcap. There's a couple bits of Aos energy scattered. If they wanted to try to just score 1 or 2, they could have, but very wisely didn't want to overextend their push. Nice little foul play here from Umbreon. It is a Surf side. We haven't talked about that too much, but getting immediately met was that Mewtwo. There's that Infinite Cybert. Here comes some damage from Ashen Ones.
Psychic Solaire comes out as we are looking to grab them there. The Urshifu goes in the back lines, wipes out Unite Divinity, taking them down. Huge overcap for Ashen Ones there as they're exerting excellent map control, putting down lots of pressure, and keeping Unite Divinity sitting at that big old goose egg.
I believe that's a really good play for this Urshifu, and despite how much crowd control Unite Divinity has, they just haven't been able to slow down this Urshifu. Level 11. Highest level in the game, outpacing the central area by 2 levels. So it's not looked very successful right now with this heavy crowd control composition. And they haven't even been able to kind of keep Ashen Ones away from their own central area. So we'll see what Unite Divinity has closer towards the end of the game. But right now it's been pretty rough halfway through.
Yeah, Umbreon's already getting vision there. Buzzwole's not able to do a whole lot against it. You got that ability that's able to deny CC. You got Miraidon raining down with that charge beam, the enhanced version, taking it down, sending it back. You got 6 seconds on the Reggie roulette into the bottom there. So, yeah, Divinity needs to start putting points in, and they're getting small ones here in the top.
Yeah, just small ones, work that attack weight a little bit, and it is going to help closer to the end, but I think the big thing that's going to help is finding some KOs. Everybody on Ashen Ones is outpacing essentially everybody on your team, so you just need to find a pick. I don't know if they even have, like, more than 5 KOs as a team right now, so if they could kind of play all as 5, that's going to be the key here. Miraidon Unite move is going to try to separate Unite Divinity. And we do have a nice little freeze here. Ice spikes onto their Urshifu, but still able to survive for a little bit. There's just enough shielding, and Urshifu barely finds that double KO.
Oh no, that was so close. You can hear it in their voices on the comms. Get him! Get him! No! Gets out on 1. Greninja looking to try to get a cheeky 10 points in here in the bottom, though. They need to get those stacks. They want that experience as desperately, but they're not going to be engaging on this fight.
Oh, it's another KO right there. Mewtwo this time taking out that Buzzwole. Regieleki kind of walking towards this T2. I don't think Unite Divinity is going to be in position to stop it. And it doesn't look like they did. Potentially they did. I can't really see on the minimap. Okay, they just had enough damage to stop it, so that's good. So that's exactly what they needed. You did not want more goals going into that T2 and extend this ever so large lead that Ashen Ones already has. This Umbreon has been super tough to deal with. We talk about the Urshifu a lot, but I believe this is like Bissot on Ashen Ones. And they are aggressive, and they're every bit of what you want out of an Umbreon player in this composition. They're grabbing vision for their team. They're stunning up these Pokemon that already have stuns. And they're really providing the valuable space that Ashen Ones needs to close down these KOs.
Yeah, they've been doing a really good job. That vision that they're getting, everything, keeping the Mamoswine Psyducks in check because they're trying to do the same thing. So when you limit what the Unite Divinity can see, when you limit what they can do on the map, you exert a lot of pressure and a lot of control. And in fact, another Regieleki about to spawn here in 10 seconds there, which looks like Ashen Ones is going for. Unite Divinity could let this go and opt to take a position in the pit instead, but they're gearing up for a fight.
Yeah, good checks there from Psyduck, just to check these bushes, make sure there's no one hiding in the tall grass. Great pull there onto the Umbreon. Umbreon grabs valuable vision, but it's going to have to use their Unite moves. Actually, everybody on Ashen Ones is using their Unite moves, and immediately 4 members are down. It's a clean team wipe. 5 seconds until Kyogre. They're going to start making their way there, Tide, and I think it's actually Kyogre. It's a Groudon. Either way, Ashen Ones looking to take it.
Yeah, Groudon is gone, and now but Unite Divinity is back. No Unite moves in the pocket of the Ashen ones there, but if they get the KOs for Unite Divinity, they got 4. They got the Mamoswine, Buzzwole, Greninja, and Suicune. They use these effectively. This is their advantage. Get the KOs, get the buffs, push the pads, go for the scores.
Gotta try something. Ice Spikes out for the Suicune. Buzzwole also trying to separate a couple members, but they're immediately met with some resistance. 4 members down. It's only the Mewtwo gone for Ashen ones, and this one's all but over. Hundo Burgers reigning in. Actually, a 98 burger. That doesn't sound as good. Here come the Hundo Burger.
Yeah, absolutely. They're coming in. They're raining down. A 92% burger, probably 92% beef. Don't ask what the other 8% is. But as we come through, 660 points to 19 right there. I don't like calling games too soon, but Ashen ones just as the levels, as the score is and is keeping the pressure on. So I think game number 2 and the set is going to Ashen ones.
Not enough time, not enough money in their pockets, not enough Pokemon up out of the Pokemon Center. And yeah, Ashen one's looking pretty good here. They're going to take this set 2-0. I imagine we're just going to kill some time. Also, maybe damage farm a little bit. Work those numbers up over these last 30 seconds. Yeah, why not? Try to maybe get a couple KOs or 2. But yeah, I mean, Ashen ones look pretty good here. So they're going to be 2-0 on this set. I'm looking towards a potential 3-0 on the night. So honestly, looking pretty good. This is another team that competed in Articuno League and performed pretty well all season.
Yeah, they did decently as well throughout there, being around the middle of the pack. They able to climb through, I believe, until about round 2 in the playoffs there. So, yeah, they did fantastic. They had a really strong showing. But as you mentioned, Kyle, and when we were talking there too, Articuno League had a lot of strong teams in the grassroots scene. A lot of well-known players in there. And just seeing them come here to the Underdunk stage as well is absolutely phenomenal.
That's really great. 840 to 19 is going to be your final here. Yeah, not a ton of KOs. I think at the midway point, I was like, I don't think they have 5 KOs. Well, they didn't have 5 KOs the entire match. They had 2 total KOs. 1 for the Greninja, 1 for that Suicune, yeah. And then on the other side, 20 and 8 for this Urshifu. They just didn't have an answer.
No, they didn't. The Urshifu was what really shut them down. They tried. They tried so hard there, but there was moments where it was just a 2v1. Somebody walked away. There's a little bit of uncoordination. So Unite Divinities, they had a decent showing early on in the game there, but they fell away and they allowed Ashen ones to exert a lot of control. And when you are behind like that, it is very difficult to come back because you have a lot of pressure, and a lot of what Unite to is what people don't talk about. It's a mental game. When you're in the middle of the game, you're down and you're behind and you're getting an onslaught of pressure against you, you start doubting yourself. You start making mistakes that you might not normally make if you were ahead. So you gotta make sure you stay in that right mindset. Gotta make sure you stay positive.
Yeah, it's very key. Mental is definitely a part of this game. I think just having that strong fortitude is really valuable, maybe underrated portion of a lot of people's games. Because playing on tilt is never going to get you the positive results that you're looking for. But getting some positive results is this Water Urshifu, again, just wiping the floor into the back line of Unite Divinity. This is a great fight here. I thought, actually, Unite Divinity, if they would have taken a lot of their Unite moves, I think potentially they could have come out with at least 1 or 2 picks there and maybe stalled this game out a little longer.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty crucial too, is being able to stall the game out, because with Groudon, even if you lose the Groudon, what's the benefit of it over Kyogre? It doesn't knock your pads out. You still got heals, you still got shields, you still have a way to defend. And when you only have 3 people with a Groudon buff instead of 5, that can make a difference too, because they're pushing, everybody's on cooldown. They have the opponent has the entire map to traverse. So if they're going to push, they got to wait to grab it. So that is a huge stalling tactic that you want in the pocket there, because that means you also have time to farm up your ults as well.
It really does. But yeah, insane stuff. I wish we would have got to see game 1. Looking at the from our production, they were actually able to provide us with some of the data from game 1. It was kind of a similar. We talked about the Tyranitar ban, and that's because Plush played T-Tar. 15 KOs, 12 assists on that. did 113k damage on that Pokemon in game 1. So yeah, well-deserved ban, I would say. They potentially probably should have looked at the Urshifu too, because in game 1 they took it, in game 2 they took it. Yeah. So either way,
Yeah.
insane work from this team. 2-0, looking for another set win here as we move forward towards potentially our round 4 matchups.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be amazing to see because there's a lot of good teams. And unlike Underdunks in the typical format from 69 before, we don't know which matchups are coming up next, I don't think, Kyle. We got to wait for those games to finish, and we're ready to go. So it's going to be exciting to see when we come back.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, so don't go too far, trainers. We potentially have round 4. We potentially have a game 3 situation. Actually, no. Just got word our last set went 2-0 towards Lunex Academy, so that is our last set of round 3. So we are going to move immediately into round number 4, so don't go too far, trainers. Round 4 will be up next. We're ready. We're ready. We're back.
We're ready.
Production came in and said, "Hey, are you guys ready?" And then immediately like, "Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2." But we're back. I was ready. I guess I wasn't ready, but I'm ready. We
were
in
ready.
round number
We weren't.
4. It is going to be Lunex Academy taking on Dats Daniel T1 subs. 2 3-0 teams on the evening, and this is going to be essentially for determining who's going to be rank 1 for our Underdunk 70 Swiss.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be fun. There a lot riding on the line there because that's the Champions of the Week tab that you're going to be shown on Underdunks until the next one. So that's bragging rights for 2 weeks, folks.
Mm-hmm. Bragging rights for 2 weeks is always fun. Yeah, because we are going to be taking the week off next week. Spoiler alert. Just to allow time for teams and people that are participating in EUIC, a little bit of time to do that. But we'll be back the week after EUIC. I think Bina's also doing a regional that weekend. So there's multiple reasons why we're not going to be around. Or not tomorrow. Oh, I won't be around tomorrow, but also next Thursday. But okay, so we have Lunex Academy. This is formerly Goofy Goobers, plus like a couple small changes here and there. And then Dats Daniel, we saw them earlier in the evening, and they absolutely just hammered their first round matchup, 2-0 in commanding fashion. So I think this is going to be, if not the match of the game or match of the evening, one of the matches of the evening.
Yeah, listen, if you're Lunex and you're looking at Danny on the other side there and you see what they did in game number 1, you're looking at like, all right, what do they do? Greninja. Greninja's a pocket Pokemon, and Danny, you're like, maybe this doesn't warrant a ban in the regular meta, but you got 3 bans in the game. You ban out 2 Pokemon you don't want to see, and then maybe target ban a few people on the other team there as well. So if you think you can handle the Greninja, let it through. Let Danny go all ham on you. But if you can't handle it, make sure you ban it out, because we've seen instances where you've maybe seen a Pokemon, you're like, maybe I can do it, and you just can't.
If you can't handle the Greninja, kick it out of the swamp. That's what I always say. And always I made that up just now. We're going to coin that. Probably. We'll make it a shirt or something.
There you
I don't
go.
know. But we do have a little bit of information on what we have for our first match. It's going to be Lunex Academy is going to be on your first pick side, and the map we are going to see is going to be Groudon once again.
Ooh, yeah. So, like I said, Groudon is one of those maps where if you lose it, it doesn't shut your pads off. So there is a very feasible comeback mechanic in that, with where it becomes more threatening for them. But when you're in a first pick as well, you get a powerful pick Pokemon first, but you're also, maybe in the ban phase as well, you're not having to ban out something that you don't necessarily want to see on the other team, because, like, let's say Blastoise, for instance. Blastoise is first ban. All right, let's say Darkrai, for instance. If you're in the first pick for Darkrai and you don't want that in the hands of the other team, maybe you just force Dats Daniel to ban that out for you. And if they don't, that means that's your first pick. So there's a lot of trading that could be happening here with these first pick slots.
Yeah, I think this Leafeon pick, or I guess Leafeon ban, very wise. You don't want Adaminja to really allow, to scale. They're insane on that Pokemon, so very much makes sense. And also just any Leafeon in general, if you have a proficient one, sometimes it's just better to go ahead and ban that one out, just because the level 4 gank is super incredibly powerful. We do see a couple Megas banned, Mega CharY, Mega Gyarados, as well as regular Blastoise. Might as well be a Mega at this point. We also have that Darkrai and Umbreon rounding out our bans.
Yeah, you want to pick up that Psyduck there, first pick. Strong supporter, one of the most versatile CC Pokemon in the game. Great for getting vision. How does Dats Daniel respond? They're saying, you know what? Brawlers. Mimikyu going to be that stealthy assassin. Almost plays like a speedster going into the Mega Lucario.
Also, yeah, I like the Mega Lucario. I like even more this Psyduck pick from Dr. Jurassic A Dragon. I imagine that's the full name there. As well as this Vaporeon. We also have Sao on the Megachar X. We don't see a ton of Megachar X, but sometimes it's super fun to see. I'm not sure how we're going to round out this squad. I would love to see, some sort of range damage dealer, probably I thought Alolan Raichu would have been pretty good there. I think if you maybe throw on something mid-range, you'll be okay, but either that or you just have to full lean into, like, just targeting this Inteleon because you do not want that thing to be able to snipe shot for free.
No, absolutely not. We're going to pick up the Blaziken. We're going to pick Ceruledge. Ceruledge able to get into that back line easily. Revenant Ren able to get down onto that Inteleon. Going to be able to shut it down. Thankfully, though, the T1 subs do pick up a supportive character in the Trevenant. I was scared for a moment that they were just going to YOLO pull out a second attacker or fourth all-rounder.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. I mean, those are some good matchups that I'm going to be very much paying attention to. I think the biggest thing that I'm very curious about, we obviously have 3 all-rounders on each side. Maybe you kind of throw Scyther, Scissor, maybe if it is a Scyther, more of a Speedster. But the thing that I'm really interested in is Skeleton Pie going to be able to snipe shot here? Because like you said, Ceruledge, really tough. And I think if you're AJ Dragon on this Psyduck, I imagine we may go Disable here. I think obviously Psychic could also work. Honestly, Psyduck's a pretty decent matchup into it because you could Disable to slow down those snipe shots and stun it out when it is lining up the shot. I believe Psychic also is going to stun and pull it out of the snipe shot.
Yeah, exactly there. And I don't think this would be a liquidation game either.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many Pokemon that are on the back line. You want to play to the maximum range that you can because any one of them will delete you. Yes, even Psyduck on Inteleon could delete an Inteleon if done properly. It's insane. But the one thing that they do have going for them on the side of Lunex is that Vaporeon. If that is not a flip turn Vaporeon, and it does go that Aqua Ring, then that is going to be the heals that they need to help offset the pressure from Inteleon.
Let's go into it. Game number 1 of round number 4 in AJ Dragon. Gonna immediately head towards this top path along with that little Torchic, and it's gonna be the Charizard X into the bottom path, so we are gonna send Ceruledge into the central area for Lunex.
That's actually really good. Ceruledge gets that evolution at 5. Stronger gank coming into the lane. That's kind of what you want there. But we're fighting over the bunnies down here, and it's going to be Trevenant with not 1 but 2 pickups on the secures.
Yeah, 12 Eos energy being held right now, and Mimikyu stealing away that red buff away from that Ceruledge. That is huge because you stall out that evolution, and then also you get a valuable tool onto this Pokemon that's already pretty decent.
Yeah, we have to now take one of the farm up in the top there. One of these wild Pokemon go for the capture. Ceruledge is online, but look how much damage it's taken just to evolve. It's now taken down. It's got to get back. 10 seconds might be the way to get it there, but it's going to be like just in time. Daniel's T1 subs are already off to a great start with huge pressure on the top side.
I love the Surf pick here from AJ because it's very brawl heavy. Also, even love that pickup even more. That's going to be very valuable to this level 4 Pokemon. Obviously, you've kind of slowed down this Torchic, unfortunately. You would have certainly loved if Torchic was able to pick it up, but you're already on your high horse towards the central area. They were able to steal your red buff. Now you're going to return favor, steal theirs, and AJ Dragon able to do exactly that.
Listen, I just want to say 2 for 2 on those steals there. Yeah, that Psyduck is demonic there. You do not want to mess with AJ when they're on that Psyduck there. But now we're going in. The Regidrago's here in 10 seconds there. Good experience for the side of Lunex because they need to get a couple of more evolutions online before they're fully ready to engage T1 subs.
Still only 2-4, so very low-scoring game. Not a lot of stacks in on either side. But Regidrago has made their way towards this map. Easily secured here from Scyther. And now this Surf from the side up going to try to send a couple Pokemon scattering. Scyther going to respond to this Charmeleon. Send them back to the Pokemon Center. Ceruledge sees the Lucario, but also sees Scyther starting to make their way towards the top. So they wisely going to go ahead and retreat there. Going to eject into this Mimikyu. Great plays here from Bart Impson.
Yeah, that Ceruledge is doing great. Yeah, what a name indeed. Like, it's not quite the same name that we're used to saying, but it's close enough that we'll tongue-tie it.
Okay, once more again, gonna go in with that Bitter Blade. Gonna have to retreat now because all 5 members of T1 responding. The retreat's not fast enough as FAD6 able to take that KO. Lucario very low, gonna get healed up from that close combat. And now we are Snipe Shot, gonna miss the mark there, a little bit wide right of that Vaporeon. Great Horn Leech there from the Trevenant. Gonna put a couple of Pokemon into danger, but the next Academy able to survive all of it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to survive as much as you are able to, because when you come down there, like when you're off the board, that means you're not farming, you're not getting vision, you're not positioning, like you are putting your team at a disadvantage. So even if you live on one, that's a boom, because you do not want to be taken off the map.
It's a boom. One big boom. If Scyther takes out that Registeel for That's Danny. Charizard back to the Pokemon Center. Vaporeon, same fate. Now we're looking to score some points. Got to do some math. 13 in, 52 on the board, and we're going to get that 30 and 40. Fantastic math skills for T1.
That's amazing. They're 112 to 63, effectively almost double the points there. So that's a great lead for T1 subs to be in there. Now they're going to be putting pressure on the top here with the Regieleki. Great Horn Leech to be able to take down the Blaziken. They're saying, hey, listen, we have a Trevenant. We only need one supportive Pokemon.
Good dodge there with the Phantom Force. Now into the Revenant Wren, into the Seismic Slam, and Dad's Daniel team gonna go backpacking to the Pokemon Center. Met with a nice little Phantom Force into the Horn Leech. They're able to return the favor, get that Cerulege, but brawling against this Charizard. I don't think that's a match that Charizard really wants, so Trevenant able to walk away from that scot-free, score some points. On the opposite side, some go in for this Vaporeon. Now with a Snipe Shot here, so T1 on the offensive.
Listen, what this Trevenant is getting away with is absolutely criminal. Fights two all-rounders, KOs one, walks away from the other, scores 15 points because Regieleki connected, almost gets KO'd by 3 members and says, nah, I just don't want that to happen, and gets away scot-free. Although now he finally goes down.
Finally. I mean, it took almost an entire army to do so. Psyduck goes down. Tree is still back in the Pokemon Center. Scyther forced to use a Unite move. Are they going to get anybody? Cerulege is the one that goes down there. So good play there. You use a Unite move from Scyther. You get a KO on the fellow level 10. Now Scyther's level 11. You have a couple objectives coming up. 2 seconds in the bottom path. 20 seconds in the top path. And T1 has full advantage on the map as they've not lost a goal yet.
Yeah, they're looking to take down Vaporeon. They want to take down Ravioli, and there he goes. They are gone, opening up this pad more for another massive amount to score. 206 to 80. Registeel on the bottom. No secure, but the Revenant Red comes in, but it's Inteleon that gets the last hit. Registeel's blessing playing for That's Daniel.
Good plays there. Fantastic secures is why you take Inteleon for those moments right there, out securing the Blaziken. Now they're going to try to hit a Snipe Shot there. Might have been a little short. Into the Horn Leech, though. Into the Woodhammer. Into the Phantom Forest. They're going to put the entire army on them. Skeleton gets a nice Snipe Shot on the Vaporeon. That opens the door for a 31 on the tops, or on the bottom side for this Trevenant, as well as Lucario taking that Regieleki in the top side.
Wow, this Trevenant is popping off. You do not want this going off. Like, this is just criminal what it's able to get away with. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's criminal.
Yeah, this tree's looking insane right now. 1 minute 15 until our Groudon, which is the objective in game number 1. Snipe Shot's going to connect on AJ Dragon. Psychic going to pop onto the Mimikyu. No real pulls able to be happening there. Not a lot of follow-up damage. But right now, T1 looking absolutely insane. Like you said, this Trevenant is definitely something to watch out for. Once they get their Unite move for this Groudon, I mean, you just have to watch out for them. If they hit a couple members with that Phantom Forest or with a nice little Horn Leech, it could send That's Daniel's squad into a win here in game 1. So a lot of things to pay attention to.
And speaking of paying attention to, one of the things that T1 subs has to look at is the levels. Lunex Academy, triple 12s, double 10s. They're still behind on levels there, but they are climbing back up. It's the carries that have these level 13s. They're looking for the early pick, and Mimikyu already has to back. Now this opens up for another Pokemon to get picked up because Mimikyu has to get away and go back to heal. This opens up a nice opportunity for Lunex to grab a power position within the pit.
They have that power position, although nice little horn leech there from Trevenant. That's exactly what we were talking about. Ledge gets caught, so does Vaporeon. That's a double KO for this Mega Lucario. Nice little eject play to avoid the Charizard fire punch. And now Groudon starting to get ripped. T1 looking to take it, lining up the snipe shot. We have Blaziken lining up an overheat. They're a little early, but they still get it. It might have been a focus blast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They went in. They lost the opportunity to use the overheat to secure, but they definitely went in and got the last hit anyways. Now they're looking to take down T1 subs there. There's the Revenant Rent comes out, just gets over the wall, gets them back in the fight.
Whoa.
Now they're on the run there as we have Trevenant and Lucario with a dream. Ledge, no buff, going for the raw 50 Hundo Burger, going into the top. Meanwhile, Lunex Academy pushing into the bottom.
That's a Hundo Burger undercooked. I don't know. I'm making that up right now. But that Hundo Burger right there from Psyduck gonna send them into this late game last minute with a lead. It is a small one, 280, 237. We'll see if anybody on T1 has a buff still. See if they can maybe have a little bit of a counter punch. We'll see. There's 50 seconds left. One final opportunity for them.
They have to take it now because they got to move. Psyduck's ready there. They're in a bush. They're trying to hide into there, but that Trevenant's like, I know you're around here. Psyduck just says, you know what? I'm going to back out. We don't need the score. We are in normal lead. 35 seconds left. We're collecting the points. We got to try to get these, whatever scores in. Even the site, there's 32. We'll put them in the lead. 64 points. Puts them at, what is that, 301, something like that? So they are ready to go, and here it is. They're pushing the pad, and they're ready to go, Kyle.
They're looking to go. Here comes Vaporeon. Here comes Mega Lucario, dishing out a ton of damage. Blaziken back on the Pokemon Center. Everybody's going 100 points on the backside for the Psyduck. Still 10 seconds. They're going to need more than a Hundo Burger now, and it's just Inteleon. Lunex Academy survives the final push, and they're going to take game one.
Ooh, close. But again, maybe that's like where you decide, like that's where the benefit of the Groudon comes in. You don't have to worry about your pads being sealed off there. But I mean, even though it was Lunex Academy that got the last hit, that was absolutely insane. That was amazing to be able to get in there, take it down. And Lunex, despite being bodied by this Trevenant most of the game, was able to clutch it out right when it mattered. They were able to find crucial picks and be able to come back into this. And Bart Impson with the Revenant Rend, able to come back in, join their team, help take down certain key Pokemon after the Groudon secured. That is absolutely demonic.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. It's not about how you start sometimes, it's about how you finish. And that Blaziken didn't start so hot like the fire type it is. 0-2 on that, but when Lunex needed something, they needed a play, they needed something. Everybody back in the Pokemon Center, a Hail Mary, if you will. This Blaziken missed the overheat, but somehow able to hit it. I believe it was a focus blast. We'll have to go back to the replay, see exactly what the last hit was. It could have also been the Unite move combo. I couldn't exactly pick it out. There's literally just everybody surrounding it. But either way, well played at the end there for Lunex, and they got what they needed. They got just enough. And I also really liked AJ Dragon's play to go score. They still had that Groudon buff. And knowing that the T1 squad needed to go and like fully traverse the map, they were patient and they waited for their opportunity to score on that T2 on the bottom side. And that was enough insulation that even if T1 was able to score their Hundo Burger on that top side, which they were very close a couple of times, that would have still been enough padding to win the game.
Yeah, it absolutely would have. And they had great job too, because they had that vision. They're like, all right, I'm not going to make a push here. I'm just going to back because they're coming the top side, guys. So everybody get on the pad, get ready to jump. We're going to take them down. We're going to get going. But yeah, good job, Lunex Academy. Like when it came down, push to shove, they were able to clutch it out. And now they're in match point position. That's Daniel T1 subs now has to take this set 2-0. From here on, they got to take 2 more games, 2 wins in order to come out on top.
They will. Let's take a look at some of the replays. There's definitely going to be plenty of highlights in. I feel like this was just like an F8D6 highlight reel for a majority of the first part of this game. I mean, this is a great also snipe shot from Skeleton Pie, but this is kind of where everything started to kind of unravel for Lunex. They get caught here, but again, the composure that they had in these key moments.
Yeah, absolutely there. And look, like we got to look for picks. We find them. We do find picks here. Trevenant's going to go in. Woodhammer into that Horned Leech, sets it up for an instant double KO for That's Daniel's T1 subs. Already in a good position. They got rid of a tanky. They got rid of the healer. They got rid of a really annoying Pokemon. But coming in, Blaziken was the last one. Even on the replay, we couldn't see what it was because all the numbers and the words that came up, they're like, "Stop's happening. You can't see it."
You can't. Also, notably, Lucario still in the Mega form and just kind of vacates to kind of pay attention to Psyduck, and that could have been a really valuable tool that T1 could have had on that Kyogre. I was going to say, that was a Groudon on that game. Very valuable tool that they could have had on Groudon. We're going to see one more time, I believe. Thank you, production. Huge. Wait, nope, we're not going to see it because I think the game is coming up. But yeah, Lucario leaving there, just kind of unfortunate there for T1 because I think if you have that power-up punch along with the snipe shot, surely you land one of those secures instead of the blue.
Absolutely there. Also, thank you, production, for showing that face. And when I saw the secure, I'm like, oh my gosh, whoa! The jump scare of the caster face. I'm like, wait, why am I frozen? What's going on? I don't know. And then it's like, all of a sudden I move. What? But coming into game 2, that's going to be interesting to see because Blaziken did recently get a nerf. It's no longer unstoppable in the overheat. Everything else still online. Still a very powerful Pokemon. You just have to be more careful on those engages. We've seen a lot of Pokemon come in, such as Machamp, to be able to help deal with instances like that. That submission, able to pull the Blaziken out of those scenarios. So maybe that's what you got to look for. You got to look for something to kind of shut that down. But we're coming into the draft, Kyle. Let's see what they pick.
See, Psyduck also a Pokemon I can take it now with Psychic, which I think is really fun. You hit them with the Psychic, it blasts them out of it, and then you could pull them into danger. So very interesting plays that you could kind of set up with those Blazikens who have been so used to securing tool, like using their securing tool for these big objectives over the last, essentially since it's existed in Pokemon Unite. We'll see what we get here. Ludex Academy already going through some of the ban phases. We have Mega Gyarados as well as they are going to ban that Leafeon once again for T1. Hoopa ban here for Lunex. I'm not sure if they just didn't get to what they wanted. It was seemingly a last-second ban.
Yeah, Darkrai coming in as well. So you got to think about with your last bans. Secure is going to be incredibly important in this. We got rid of the Mimikyu now, and now we're going to be looking for another one. But why is Secure important? Because this is what I love about the Underdunks. This is what I love about this. We get to pick the maps. What map is this, Kyle? We're going back to the OG. Rayquaza is here.
Raymond Quaza in this economy? Oh, that's actually kind of great. I haven't seen a ton of Rayquaza since this triple map rotation has been available. So excited to see this. We are going to see something that we see a ton of times is that first pick Blastoise. So obviously absent in the ban phase, meaning most of the time that Pokemon is going to get picked up with that first pick, or if not, the second or third. And Mega Lucario still up in T1, likely going to take that as well as this Miraida.
Yeah, I think Lunex also has the pick of the choice of supportive type Pokemon there because T1 subs just does not want them. So we picked up the Blastoise, we had Bliss, we had Umbreon, we had Psyduck up. They said, no, Miraida on Lucario, that's the pick. So Lunex Academy now has the opportunity to take whatever they want out of all of that. And they're going to lock in Talonflame Urshifu. This is what I'm scared of, Kyle. Sautami on Urshifu.
Sometimes you just gotta lock in the Urshi, and I think we saw Ashen ones taken, so I was like, I could do that. And surely he can, so be very interested to see that. Currently, we do see Adamantia on the Talonflame, and it is sporting what is a potential score comp set. He says Amulet Coin, as well as the Score Shield and the Float Stone, mostly just to be able to help it traverse the map a little bit more quickly. AG Dragon was lining up that Sableye. Might make Hyde a little happy.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I'm eyeing it. I'm looking at that clock. Don't you dare switch off it, AJ. I'm watching you, bro. Don't you do it. Yeah, you better lock in. Now I'm going to be watching the production chat. I'm going to be waiting. There was a crash call. We have to remake the draft all the way up to the Sableye pick, and then they're going to go pick Psyduck. No, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen, production. Force them to stay with the Sable.
I think we're good. I assume we're good. We are gonna lock in though this last pick Wigglytuff, not something that we see a super ton of, but I think that has some good tools in its kit, right? Obviously, me personally, I hate Cute Charm when I'm not playing Wigglytuff. It's just really annoying to deal with, has a pretty decently low cooldown, and it's gonna pull some of these brawlers and take their attention to the Wigglytuff. So if they have like a little bit of a combo working, they tap the Wigglytuff, all of a sudden combo broken, and they're just infatuated with the Wiggly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the beautiful thing about Wiggly. It doesn't matter who you are, you're always going to be infatuated with Wigglytuff. Doesn't matter if they're if they're dazzling gleam or roll out, if they sing you a song, or if they just decide to, why am I blanking on the other move? They just double slap you, just smack, give you a couple of smacks across the face. You're always going to keep coming back for more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I actually really do like a good Wigglytuff game. I think it is a super fun Pokemon. It has a lot of great tools. And I think it's going to work really well with the Miraidon, specifically
Mm.
because it can put Pokemon to sleep, and then it's going to lower their special defense, and Miraidon can shred through with all that damage that Charge Beam offers. So something to look out for if you're Lunex Academy, but I think the T1 squad, they're going to be ready for it here in game number 2. They are down 1-0, and they are looking to even this series back up.
They are, but we have Lunex Academy with the Sableye. They have caster's bias, at least one of us biased. All ready for them, already rooting, but we're seeing Gibble invade.
Okay, yeah, surely Gibble is going to go on the invade. They did it earlier, and it worked actually really well. The bottom side, though, I think this Miraidon's doing pretty well, and then F8, D6. Kind of keeping up where they left off in game number 1, this time on that Wiggly.
Bro's already cleared the first 2 wild Pokemon, captured them. Now we're working on the Urshifu. The Flux Zone's going to help them get away. Machop's not there. The stacks disappeared. I mean, like when you get half your jungle there, only half that central lane, you can take one of these Bunnelbees. It still won't get you to 5. You have to take both of them and pray. No, the praying didn't work.
Yeah, unfortunately. Look at the Sableye just narrowly able to escape away. Doing exactly what Sableyes do, being a little bit of a disruptor, being a little bit of a pest. I think this Gibble also looking really good. Nice little stun there from Sableye, and that's Danny might be going down here at the hands of Sao. But no, they actually flip the script, and Lucario is able to come to the rescue. That's a big KO there. Miraidon's able to take down that Fletchender, and now AJ Dragon gonna be that next pin to fall, and T1 looking to take this T1.
Yeah, 33-24, huge advantage up in the top side there. That's exactly what you want. Meanwhile, down to the bottom here, we got the Sings, we got the stuff going on, but what we don't have is any scores on any of those pads, as we have Faith coming back up with the Garchomp to try to help extract this Mega Lucario.
Yeah, it's already looking pretty good. They've slowed down a lot of Pokemon. Sableye gonna gobble up some of that Eos energy, and also maybe get to safety. They do. They're going to grab one and both citrus berries, but that is on their way out back to the Pokemon Center because Lucario did not enjoy what they saw from that little ghost.
No, you got to take him down. Every time he goes invisible, you got to track him there. You got to pull out the tracker, and you got to be like, all right, where's the Sableye going? Beep, 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 beep. All right, there he is. Go, send it. Hit him. Pound him. Send him back into Nurse Joy. But down to the bottom here, that's exactly what T1 Subs is looking to do. With huge advantage there in numbers and levels. They're already going to be taking down the Machop. Now they're going to be looking to take down that Urshifu there as well. The War Turtles have to back off. We have South Tammy going back into the central lane and like, listen, I got better things to do. I can't be here. They're just going to get me.
I love that smoke screen from Danny to kind of suss out where that War Turtle was hiding. And that was a big play because they were able to suss them out, not do a lot of damage, and then there was great follow-up damage from the rest of T1, so really love that play. The top side's going pretty well for them, too. The Lucario has hit their level 8. You have a level 9 already on that Greninja. So all things considered, it's looking pretty good. You're also able to get a couple other big picks down the bottom path, so this Regirock's going to be all T1.
Lunex Academy is now putting pressure on the top there. We got Sableye pushing, trying to push Lucario and Garchomp off the pad. Gets a quick KO there, but Sautami able to come in, grab a little Pokemon, but not able to get the score. Looking for their level 9, just inches away. One more wild Pokemon, and they get it online. So that's exactly what they're going to be looking for as Regilecki's in the top, coming down to say hello.
Great goal zone integrity from T1. because that Talonflame looked like they were going to go in and potentially, well, not break it, but get that one pretty low. Instead, we are going to have a little bit of a fight here. It's going to be Gabite, the first one to fall. Great sing from the Wigglytuff, follow-up from Lucario. War Turtle back in the Pokemon Center. Sableye going to take a nap. Going to try one little knockoff, but Lucario knocked him off.
Yeah, you knock it off is what Lucario said. So they had to take it down. They had to send it home. And there we go. 9 points going in, trying to further the lead here. Another 8 going in. They're just scoring the small little guys there. Greninja still got 13 in the pocket, but we're going for 15. Try to get a lot of this extra experience there. Trying to zone them out and keep the levels coming. Because look, Garchomp's online now.
Yeah, 15. It's going to be a 12-point overcap, but at this stage in the game, not too bad. You want to try to start breaking some of these goal zones. The Sableye has kind of been a little bit annoying, stealing a lot of your Eos energy, so you just take what you could get. You don't want it to be an even lesser, and really you just want to break it so this Regieleki push can happen. But here comes a nice little flame sweep, going to separate a couple Pokemon from the pack. Going to have to retreat into the back line, but they're going to immediately met by that Dragon combo, and Regieleki finds its home in T2.
Yeah, now the beautiful thing there, even with this, is even if Lunex just, was like, you know what, if this pad gets broken, it's whatever. Because, I mean, you don't want to.
Wow.
Well, another Regieleki is going to come in, but it's not going to come in too close to the Kyogre. It's going to come through, and it's going to be just enough time for Lunex to be able to put the pressure onto Dad's Daniel T1 Subs and try to take it. But the barrage blow is going to come out, try to push them off, but T1 Subs just says, this pad's ours, 315 to 172.
Mega Lucario was putting in some heavy lifting. There were a couple moments there where it was on like 1 HP, but it was hitting multiple members with those close combats, which was recharging its HP bar with that lifesteal. And now it's time for a potential basement objective push, but great vision here from F8. Who's going to snuff out both that Urshifu as well as this Blastoise, and even this Talonflame is going to have to try to run away. Good pursuit from the Sableye. Met with another fly, but that's still not enough to take them down.
Sableye's actually been doing a really good job being able to break the Cute Charm on the Wigglytuff, allowing Talon, allowing Urshifu to get onto it. Because if Sableye is the one taking the Cute Charm, that's whatever. You don't care about that. But yeah, we do have pressure coming in on the T2 pad here, with Talonflame popping the goal getter and getting points in.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty close game, all things considered. I mean, 255, 315. Here comes a Blastoise Hydro Typhoon. Immediately met by Resistance, and Lunex Academy has 3 members back in the Pokemon Center. And now we're kind of in this weird, do we do it, do we not do it moment, and I think they are just going to go ahead and rip this Regieleki off the map just to make sure it goes in their hands. However, this means that there won't be one walking towards home goal zone, as I was going to say Kyogre, I was going to say Groudon, but as Rayquaza enters the fray at 2 minutes.
The most dangerous of the 3, because whoever gets it does not have to pass that back. But the Livid Outrage comes out. We're looking for a quick KO. There goes the Sableye, the first victim of it from this engagement. Now we're looking to pick up the Urshifu. Urshifu just won't go down. Finally does, but the Talonflame claps back. Garchomp sent back as Blastoise finds Mega Lucario.
Yeah, nice plays there. Another fly out from the Talonflame, was looking for the Wigglytuff, unable to find it. It's level 14 Greninja is very dangerous right now, hitting some of those auto attacks. Gonna get met by the Sableye. If they could close this K out, that could be really big, but a nice surf there. Danny knows the full limitations of this Pokemon, and he is level 15, Hyde.
That KO was bad for that Talonflame, unfortunately. Had a 50 cap of points with the goal getter in its pocket. They were looking for the back cap. Greninja popped them, 31 points down. Lunex Academy is now behind. They don't have position on the map there within the pit, and that's exactly what T1 Subs is looking to do. They're going to take a position early, close on their side, but Sableye goes for the cheeky 40 back cap, putting them only 20 points away, but there's the Talonflame, 29, and they take the lead.
Yeah, just a small lead right now. 9 points separate these. That means a fight's going to immediately break out. Blastoise already Hydro Typhoon. They're going to get met with this Mega Lucario. Still not Mega'd yet. Now going to go into that Mega form. Blastoise down, Urshifu down. Now we're going to look towards this Rayquaza. It's already getting low. Talonflame hiding in the tall grass. There's that barrage blow. It's going to take out a couple. Talonflame entering the fray. Gonna have to look to get in there. Garchomp's too low. Dragon combo. Gonna separate from the pack. They're going down. Now it's just Skeleton on this Miraidon, and they're gonna take down a Pokemon. That's a double KO there. Surf from the Blastoise, but Machamp is gonna take it for Lunax.
That's 2 shields, 3 shields now, because Saotami's on the field when that was taken. 3 shields in the hands of Lunax Academy there. T1 Daniels is not going to be able to break it because you can hit them all day long, but Rayquaza provides unstoppable scoring for the duration of that shield, and even Blastoise is able to connect it. 508 to 315. 1 minute left on the clock. It is still very doable for T1 subs to get back into this game, but they got to move fast.
They do. When you have a Sableye that has, I believe, a full pocket of change, no shield on them. You have Machamp had 18 points with a shield, so they can potentially score another 36. AJ Dragon going to go traverse the map and still look for this strange back cap, and they're going to get it. 64 in there. 100 points also going to hit the mark. And this should be all that she wrote for Lunax. They should be able to hold this one pretty handily at the end.
Yeah, they said, listen, you want that T2 pad? You go right ahead. You take it. 449 to 672. You got to get 2 full hundo burgers and a bit, and we're going to hold to this home pad. But instantly, 2 KOs down for Lunax Academy. We're now looking at, there's the Mega Lucario. 1, 2, 3 down for T1 subs. We have to fight back. We got to go. Garchomp in a dream. No, take it down. Lunax Academy takes game number 2. The set and the underdunks.
Okay. That was kind of close there for a second. Machamp was able to get in, and with that extra damage from that Rayquaza shield, that was about the extra firepower that they needed. 672, 449. There was a moment there where I think the T1 squad had enough points if they were able to find some KOs, and they found 2. They found 2 almost immediately, so it could have been pretty dangerous if that Machamp wasn't able to just pile drive through them. But either way, Lunax Academy going to take this set 2-0 on a pretty close one.
Yeah, I mean, that was an intense fight. 4 KO streak at the end there. Bart Timpson coming in there with the clutch grab. I mean, that's exactly what you want out of your Pokemon. That's what you want out of your Machamp. Only 45k throughout the whole match there, but they're providing excellent support, and they just clutched it out at the end.
Really did. Insane stuff. I mean, Danny had a fantastic game. There was a couple of really good moments there, but you gotta hand it to Lunax Academy for like really standing strong in those moments. I mean, Adam Ninja found some big KOs there at the end with some flies. They were able to separate the pack a little bit. I mean, just all around really good fights. It was a very strong ending. And this set, despite being a 2-0, was incredibly close all around.
It was. I mean, score comp is always going to be a hard thing to play around. You have to kind of meet score comp with score comp. You have to make absolutely sure that they just can't get in. Once the T1 pad was broken on one of T1 subs' side there, it just opened up T2. They stopped with the pad defense and started to fight as a 5 more, and that just opened up Lunax to be like, all right, go get her Talonflame, Sableye, go!
Yeah, let's take a look again at the stats. So yeah, 68k there from Sal. I mean, it's exactly what you want from your Urshifu main. Let's take a look at some of the highlights for our game number 2. And yeah, off to a quick start. Once again, both games, Des Daniel getting off to an incredible quick start. And I don't know, Lunax Academy, they were just kind of able to hang around all match.
Yeah, great Blastoise Unite move from here, knocking up the Wigglytuff, putting the Garchomp on blast there, being able to lock it down, trying to get something in. We do manage to find the pick on Blastoise, though, for T1 subs. Now we're coming in. The Flame Sweep's looking to try to find something. Live It Outrage is just too strong as the Bright Future Meteor Storm. 2 KOs down. They're starting to rip on Rayquaza. Don't commit, because Talonflame's just kind of hovering there, being like, you know what? I'm here, bro.
Yeah, Miraidon actually did a lot of really good things, but you got to give it, Adam Ninja right here was able to like really bait out some cooldowns and kind of force this Garchomp to show hand. Garchomp almost was able to get that, but and honestly, an incredible stun here from AJ Dragon to prevent that Garchomp from like amping up, and there's a good eject button from Skeleton. They were able to stall it like just enough, but unfortunately Blastoise was able to come right at the right moment, able to surf that Miraidon, and even though that Charge Beam did connect, it was not enough damage, and Machamp, I believe, gets it with a boosted auto. Might have been the Cross Chop. Either way.
Cross chop.
Yeah, good stuff there.
Cross chop there, went right through. 4 KO streaks from Machamp back to back, by the way. At the Rayquaza pit and then at the home pad once more. Bro was cooking there. But wow, congratulations, Lunix Academy, being the only team to be 4-0 tonight. That's Daniel Team 1 subs. Goes 3-1, but a very respectable score all the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty content with how this is kind of played out. I'm taking a look at like the bracket in the round. So this was the end of round 4. Seeing if there are any matches available that we had left, but I believe everybody is finishing up. So looks like we are going to be done for the evening. We'll get our updated standings once everything finishes out, and we'll have final results. But yeah, Lunix Academy going to be on top. Obviously, 4-0 is going to crown you at least a share of the crown here in our Underdunk 70. We are going to go ahead and end, but before that, I want to say a big thank you to everybody that helped make this happen. Obviously, Husky and you, Jonathan Hyde, for casting with me this evening. Big shout out to Shivam in the background, running the buttons, doing the production. Big shout out to Bina on the camera, making sure every play is in vision and crispy, and we have very nice movement on the cam, so no one gets motion sickness. We're looking at the right fights, all that fun stuff. Big shout out to Lordy and the TO team, making sure that we have everything running smoothly on the tournament side. And then Kurigen for all of the graphics, all the new updated graphics that you see here, and our new and improved Underdunk. I did, however, so Kurigen did the graphics. I did, however, make the little stinger. I learned After Effects and Adobe.
Ooh.
I'm almost unstoppable now, so... any final thoughts before we get out?
Honestly, like, I'm really liking this new format. I'm not gonna lie. I hope the players enjoyed it too, because the Swiss format, it seems like we're able to get through a lot of these rounds a lot quicker because we only have 4 sets to go through, and it's 11:30 EST. It's not 1:30 EST, so we got a huge 2-hour difference there. So I already know on production side we're like, we're winning, we did it. But overall, it was amazing to see all of these teams come up. Not knowing who was going to be next on to cast up there was also really cool. But at the same time, it's like, everybody is fair game as well into each of these rounds. You're guaranteed 4 sets, and just because you didn't catch a team in the first round doesn't mean by 4th round you're going to be missed as well. Like, there's equal opportunity to come up on stream.
I do. I think we're gonna work out some of the kinks in the format and the way the flow of the show works, but to be determined on kind of some of the special things. We have a couple plans of ideas that we're trying to run, potentially more frequently now that it is a little bit of a compressed broadcast. We might be looking to run a little bit more frequently. Might be looking to add some spice to the mix with some rewards and stuff like that, as well as potential for like a 2-week system. So if you have feedback for us, we absolutely love it. !Discord for the Discord link for Underdunk. And we do have under general, there is a feedback section. So if there are any pieces of feedback that you have around this format, we'd absolutely love to hear it. We love to hear from the community and the players that come up and show out every time. The reason why we wanted to do Swiss was for all of the players to get a little bit more practice, knowing that UCS has a little bit fewer events. So hopefully y'all like this. We're looking to expand into some different things. So if you have any feedback, please drop it in there, or shoot any of our TOs or myself a DM around it if you don't want to drop in the feedback section. But either way, we are going to get on out of here. I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday evening and Friday weekend. And we will see you in 2 weeks. If you're going to EUIC, have a great time. Good luck to all the competitors competing, and we will see you in a couple weeks.